Hello, I am Anti-Derivative Jill, and this is Indefinite Lunch in Infinite Combinations number 51. Today, we're reviewing the next original series episode in production order Errand of Mercy. And I actually woke up 2 hours later than I meant to, so I didn't get any of the clips or as many of the notes that I wanted. So I almost canceled the show, but then I thought how disgusted Cora would be with me for being not uncourageous. So I
Dishonored, right?
exactly, and so I'm glad
Absolutely smashing.
it, it'll be glorious because today we have pop culture curator Scotty R37 and one of my favorite YouTubers and ruler of the state of Kuroga, Berto Prey 5.
I agree.
Hello,
Hail, bird of
world.
prey.
Ahoy.
Applaud. Thank you.
Kapla to you.
Yeah,
Kapla.
likewise. Great to see you, bird. Say hello to Mama Pray for us.
I will. She's got Sassy on a little walk outside at the moment.
Gotcha.
Nice, great for Sassy, and also Happy Pi Day
Yeah. 3.14.
Well, that's right.
15926.
There you
Five.
go. You can
2, 6,
always tell the
5.
cool people because they know pi to more digits than I do.
I should learn more digits than that.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a goal in life.
Well,
But
but
we-
today's the day to learn them.
Yeah, well, we keep encountering classic after classic in TOS, and this is no exception. I've been able to say that for more than a month now. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, Pop Culture Curator. We finished our Star Trek animated series review, so we're going to review Lost in Space next.
Yeah.
So what's going on your channel, just briefly?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, like you said, Monday we'll be doing Lost in Space, and when Jill mentions that, she speaks of the original series from 1965. And then you'll see me, like you see here, Tuesdays at lunchtime on our reviews for TOS on Jill's channel. And Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time, we do review of a horror stream. We do a different horror movie each week. I let people vote. And it looks like today it's going to be Freaks.
Nice.
And then tomorrow, Wednesday, I have a Gilligan's Island stream that I do with the wonderful Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Thank you, Jill.
Gorilla, you're
Oh, and
welcome.
sometimes I do a random Rumley from the Lab open mic, open topic stream.
Oh, those are fun. And Scotty,
Yes.
you're watching Lego Batman today.
Yes. We have been doing the Batman retrospective on Tuesdays. We're shifting that back to Wednesdays again, which is where
Yay,
we
when?
usually hang out. Soonish, like the next couple of weeks. But
Great.
yeah, we're doing that, and we're watching Batman tonight, I'm watching it today so we can review it later. And you know what? It is the lower decks of Batman.
Is that
I've
a good
watched-
thing or a bad thing?
I don't
Sounds like a
know
bad
yet.
thing.
Well, I'm comfortable with Lower Decks as a Star Trek show, but and I do understand why people are upset at it because it makes fun of it. Makes fun of Star Trek. And so when I'm watching the Lego Batman movie, I'm like, I get it why people like this movie, but
Yeah, but the difference
it's making
yeah.
fun of Batman.
But the
So
difference
that's a
is that
spoiler
Lower
for
Decks pretends to be Star Trek, and Lego Batman doesn't pretend that it's exactly Batman. It knows
Well,
it's a Lego. It knows it's in the Lego universe.
this isn't like usually this is a punchline, but this isn't even a joke. You can hear
Yeah.
all about it tonight on Capes Crusaders and Cowls.
Yeah, on
and
the Phantasmagorium.
on the Phantasmagorium show. So that's what we're up to tonight. Yeah.
And so we only have Berto Prey 5 here for an hour, so
Maybe a little longer, but an hour was I was sure of.
okay, great. But it does make sense to talk about your channel first, just in case we don't have time later.
Well, thank you. I guess at this point, mainly I do Star Trek Picard reviews, Star Trek in name only. Picard's season 3 reviews on Thursdays, Mondays, and Fridays. I do my bed life live streams, which are fun, apparently. People tell me.
Yes.
Sundays, we do Twilight Zone watches. We're watching the 1985 Twilight Zone. And on Wednesday, Star Trek Enterprise. We're near the end of season 1.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
very
cool.
cool. Everybody, check out Berto Praise channel and sub. He's severely underestimating his streams. They're both very informative, honest, and very funny.
I agree.
Thank you.
And
Is
so
this-
oh yeah, what's up?
Well, Bird of Praise, and is this your first time watching Enterprise all the way through?
Oh no, I've seen Enterprise a few times.
Cool.
I had given up on it when it aired live.
Yes.
I just, with the way everything was going on, I just wasn't so interested in it. But like maybe 8 years later or so, I watched it through and I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's a great revisit.
And today it's even better in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, for reference to these, to the production of these episodes, some of the facts I share come from a book called Star Trek 365 by Paula Ann Block and Terry J. Erdman. And the idea to use this text comes from my friend Raquel Briggs, who you can find on the Clobberin Times channel. But also, she's written some amazing science fiction short stories available in paperback, hardback, and Kindle. So, let's get started on this episode. So, I'll need my slides. I'm a little behind today. Like I said, I woke up late, but I'm here.
I am enjoying a time change myself.
I am not enjoying it. It is crap.
It's fine.
I hate,
I like the sun being up later.
I don't care for the sun.
You don't like the sun? Okay.
No.
All right.
You have to destroy the sun.
We must.
Good.
Well,
Humans
Have you ever-
looked up with disdain at the sun since the beginning of time.
Have you ever seen the sun go down at 3 p.m.? I was sailing around the Arctic Circle. Shut up, you.
Okay. This episode first aired on March 23rd, 1967. The episode was directed by John Newland, and the producers were very happy with his work and wanted him back for more episodes, but he was too busy. So their schedules just never lined up again. But he does a great job.
Are you guys aware of who John Newland is by chance?
No.
Okay. I'll be sharing that a little later on.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
share that whenever you like. Anything you like, share it. But this episode
Well,
was
give me a
written
second.
by Gene Kuhn. Oh, and I mean, this really shows just how much of a force and presence he is right now, shaping what Star Trek is to become, the Klingons, and how glorious they are, and the future of the Klingons in general is predicted in this episode by the Organians. It's just really neat. The way that canon is being built up.
It is incredible. I do love it. I do want to know who enforces the Organian Treaty, which is brought up several times. Like, this is as important of a peace treaty episode as Star Trek 6 is with the Khmer Accords.
Right. Agreed. Yes. That's what gives the tenuous relationship between the Klingons. And
I have a small video clip I wanted to share. John Newland was well known for a series that he hosted.
Oops, sorry. Did you want to play that right away?
Oh yeah, it's only I tried to keep it under 10 seconds or so.
Okay, I'll play it now.
Beyond step 1.
This door is kept locked at all times.
That's John Newland. He was the host of One Step Beyond, which was like a knockoff of The Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
Aoborn?
That's neat.
And it's a pretty good show. I recommend it. It's more like a horror-themed Twilight Zone spin-off. Because Twilight Zone was so popular, obviously there were a lot of copycats. So One Step Beyond is one of them.
Huh.
Well, yeah, all the way up to having a door.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a lot more than that, obviously. I just don't want to get her copyright warning or whatever.
It looks like the opening to an Ed Wood movie.
Well, that's the style for early 60s, black and white.
Fair enough. No, I mean,
and apparently the copy isn't in very good shape. It looks like there's a lot of scratches, so it didn't get the golden treatment like Twilight Zone did or Outer Limits.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing. I don't know too much about this director, but I know he did a great job for this episode. So if
Yes, and
you
this
have
was his
any,
only episode. Yes.
yeah, it was his only Star Trek episode, but he's done a lot of other stuff.
Yep. Now you have a
Um,
face to match the name.
Yeah, neat. But for the teaser to this episode, we're introduced to the Klingons. They're on the verge. Their empire's on the verge of breaking down, and so they're likely to attack. And they want to use Organia as a military base. And so Starfleet's got to stop it.
Why do they have to? Like, okay, so are you going to slide?
I'm going to slide. Yes. Well, they have to because they have to.
Well,
They
the
have
script says to. So that,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because-
true. That's
because
true.
Kirk is given orders.
Okay.
to stop it.
Okay.
But also, the overall reason why they have to is in order to keep peace. Sometimes it's necessary to be defensive.
This is the second time.
offensive.
This is the second time that the Enterprise has shown up when people were like, "No, we're good," and they've been like, "We have to get you out of here."
Well,
And
they
they're like,
haven't. The
we don't
Organian-
want to.
They haven't done it yet, though.
All right.
Right now, the Enterprise thinks that the Organians are just a primitive culture who have no idea what's going on, and so they're there to protect them.
I don't know how the Prime Directive has been applied so far in this series. I don't
It hasn't.
recall.
It's not applied at all in this
Okay,
episode. I
so
don't
far,
think
yeah.
that-
I think in times of war, the Prime Directive goes out the window.
Really, you can mess with any civilization you want as long as you're at
Well,
war with
because the
Klingons.
Klingons are about to mess with them, so
Okay.
it's like one or the
Oh,
other.
you are protect? Yeah, no, fair enough. Starfleet is protecting the native inhabitants.
And so, of course, I everybody knows I'm watching the remastered version, so we got a remastered cut of the
That
battle.
one.
one
Special
beautiful
effects.
ship.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a shame
And
the
the-
Klingons will destroy it one day.
Yeah, and it's yeah, the original effects we never saw the Klingon battle cruiser, so that's part of the new enhanced effects.
But yeah, Scotty, Spock's assessment of the Organians would be kind of rude if he wasn't Vulcan. He calls them a primitive D- culture.
Hmm.
Well, there he was on the Richter scale of cultural, right? Cultural superiority or something.
Exactly.
Xenophobia.
Must have been another Richter. Richters love making scales.
Clearly. so the Enterprise is being sent to protect Organia from the Klingons.
To obtain Organia from the
Well,
Klingons.
that would be nice, but only if they really want to.
All right.
It's,
Yep.
Well, we'll protect you, but if you don't want to play with us, we'll leave you alone, mostly.
The only thing that we will provide you as a service as Starfleet is that we will make sure that no Klingons, harsh or mellow.
But this is a great way to meet the Klingons in battle here. This is fun.
Yes.
I think it's thrilling. It's the first one.
It
Yeah.
establishes that they're dangerous,
Yes.
and you can't trust them, and they're ruthless.
I don't say that you can't trust him. He was completely honest.
Yes.
Well, he's being honest, but I'm saying that you can't trust them as far as making the first move. You got to be very careful because they're willing to strike before you strike first. That's all I meant. But thank you for you're right about the clarification.
It sounds like a Vulcan hello.
Oh, really, Scotty?
Sorry.
It's Tuesday.
I know it is Tuesday.
For the Klingons, it's a Federation. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Klingon ship just happened to be there, and what they do, they shot at it.
Yeah,
Destroyed
exactly.
it.
Yeah, and so everyone's thrown about the Enterprise as it was hit by multiple weapons fire. So they locked phasers back, and
So when the
you know.
Enterprise was hit, the shields were not up. Is that right?
they didn't mention shields,
looked
did they,
like-
at the beginning?
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, because there was no damage on the ship, but I know there wasn't in TOS. But I don't know.
Yeah.
There was no damage mentioned, and the shields are not mentioned. So
There is a casualty list that Spock does issue. I forget what it is specifically, but
that's the part that bothers me. He says damage is minor and casualties are light, but he doesn't say how many people died.
okay. Well, casualties
Well-
can only be like a sprained wrist.
Yeah, casualties don't always mean death.
But
Mhm.
there's definitely death for the Klingons because their ship is in pieces.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
maybe,
they went to Stovokor.
maybe they're holding their breath.
They're very calm.
So
Everyone's lounging.
her doesn't have much to say in this episode, but she does have a very important line here.
Oh
Automatic
yeah.
all points relay from Starfleet Command, Captain. Code 1. So we learned that Code 1 means war.
War. We're going to war.
Like DEF CON.
Oh yes, and I
One.
also DEFCON 1. Yeah, good point.
Or is it 0? I don't know.
Well, and you speak of
And-
Uhura's limited lines in this. You know who had even more limited lines? Dr. McCoy. Where's
He
Dr.
wasn't
McCoy?
here. He's not
Not at
on the ship.
all.
Look, Dr. McCoy and Scotty went off together to
Yes.
a medical and engineering conference.
Exactly.
It was a convention. They're away.
That's
So
right.
anyway.
Scotty can't be on the ship because Sulu's in command.
Yeah.
And McCoy, you could say, okay, he's busy, but Scotty would have been in command.
So they would be together. They're on a
All right.
shuttlecraft.
Have they established yet that Scotty outranks Sulu, that Scotty would be first in command before Sulu? But I think that's is
Yes.
it second season when they do that?
I think
Well-
they had.
It's established in the writer's guide that Scotty precedes Sulu, and even Uhura precedes Sulu, but they won't ever let Uhura command until the animated series.
Yes. And then she does a fan dance.
Fantastic. Oh, there was another Spock line I liked here. Curious how often you humans manage to obtain that which you do not want. And that, of course, referring to the war. And Bird of Prey 5 was correct. DEFCON 1 is nuclear war is imminent or has already begun. So, yeah.
That wasn't an announcement. That was just a qualification.
Yes. But you know what I forgot to do is say hello to the chat, so I'll do that here.
Yay.
Edgetime says D- on the Richter scale of civilization. It's great to see you, Edgetime.
Hello, Edgetime.
And he also says, I, for one, welcome our Klingon overlords.
I do too.
Now that's
Cookie
a
dressers-
Star
dressers.
Trek. Please take that away.
Hail, Franco.
Hey, Franco.
Yes. Hello, Franco. He's curious, what does ILIC mean? It means indefinite lunch and infinite combinations. It's just a play on the classic IDIC, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. And I figured my show is around lunchtime, so I just played around with the words.
Less lunch is better than diversity.
Yes.
Actually,
Lemon
you know
pie.
what? Later on, hey, Lemon, there's going to be a really great representation of diversity in this episode. It's crazy. The ladies and minorities in the scene outnumber the Caucasian men. It's a glorious moment of Star Trek.
Hello, Gorilla.
Yes, hello, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. He says, hey, everyone. This is the one where Kirk and Kang act like a married couple after 30 years.
No, that's... Which one is that? That's
Kirk
the
and
one
Core,
with...
he
Yeah,
means.
Kirk and Core. But
Kirk.
Kirk and Kang acting like a married couple. That's season 3. It's really good.
Hello,
And-
Sub Commander.
Yes, hello, Sub Commander Tall. Great to see you. And LDG also has lots of thumbs up. He must like this episode.
Hail
Hey,
LDG.
Day of the Dove. That's the one where they're married.
Sub Commander Tall says Klingons or Klingons?
I like Klingons.
I think Klingons are very different. Go climb a tree. Yeah, I love that line. That's a great
Yeah.
line.
I always thought it was go jump in a lake, but when he says go climb a tree, I was so happy.
Oh, it's not Pie Day. I ate 5 pies this morning for nothing. No, it's still Pie Day. Pie Day plays into eating pies because, of course, pies are shaped in a circle, and you use pi to measure circle because pi is the radius of a circle. So
It's also Michael Caine's birthday. So that's fun.
or the ratio of the circumference to the diameter of a circle. I mean,
You like pie better than Michael Caine.
wait, how does cocaine play into Pi Day?
No, Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Oh,
Not
Michael.
his
Oh,
cocaine.
Michael Caine, not Michael Caine.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I
He must
I
have a
lost-
lot of cocaine over there.
No, he's fine.
I just stick with coffee.
No, but Michael Caine's birthday is today as well. It's Pie Day.
Yes, he's older an actor, but he's a good actor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, it's his birthday. Hello to Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, Jim. Go Commodore Boone.
And Mr. CCDV is also here.
Hail, Mr.
Woo!
CCDV.
And Franco Walker likes Lego Batman. So do I.
Hail,
Well, we'll
Sean
talk
Carter.
about
Good
it
to
later.
see you. Sean
Yeah.
Carter has a fantastic channel where he builds models. I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
I saw the latest of the Enterprise build. It was dope.
Isn't it sweet? Yeah.
And hello to Tony.
Hey,
Hello,
Tony.
Tony.
Oh, and Captain Finity is here.
Oh, great.
Hail, Captain Finity.
I haven't seen him yet, but Sub Commander Tall says there's a story that Roddenberry had a superior officer named Klingon that he didn't like, but I think that it is apocryphal. It is probably. I don't know anything about that story. That's kind of fun. I haven't heard that anywhere before.
I heard something like that, but I don't remember where.
Well, I heard that it was a friend of Gene Roddenberry's named Bob Klingon, Klingan. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But wasn't it Gene Kuhn that came up with the Klingons in the first place, right?
Yes, I think
Well,
so.
he writes this episode, so how much he works with Gene Roddenberry on this episode is not known because Gene Roddenberry didn't like put himself out there anytime he helped with the script. He kind of just he helped when he did things behind the scenes, but he never bragged about it, so we don't really know. But yes, this episode is written by Gene L. Kuhn, and he's an absolute genius at writing this episode. Herc 130 says, hello, corporate is on my back, so not much chatting, lots of listening.
Sorry to hear that, but glad you're here, Herc.
Yes, thank you.
I'm trying to now. I want to say inappropriate things to make Herc giggle, so that he's in the middle of like a meeting or something, and I'm going to make him blurt out a laugh, and then he'll be
Hello,
like,
Mr.
tired.
Brown.
Hey, Mr. Brown is here.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Brown Alliance. He says, hey, pal, regards meeting either Glasgow or Midlands. Don't know yet.
Well, that's
And-
cool. If you're having a meetup, that's cool. Crazy cool.
Yeah, and we also have Masters Maniac Mexico
Master.
and James Caserta.
Hello, James.
James, Roddenberry's casting couch. Okay,
Oh my
so
God.
I put on my Amazon wish list Pretty Maids All in a Row. I'm going to buy that movie on DVD and watch it just to see what Roddenberry does when he's in a high school.
Yeah, don't
I
expect
thought-
Academy Award material, but
I
yeah,
thought you
good
saw
to see.
that already. The way
I
you
haven't seen
brag
it
about
yet.
That movie, like you
I haven't seen
talk
it yet.
about
You'll see a full review when
You
I
talk
do.
about it as you've seen, as though you have seen it. So-
Wait, what movie is this?
Pretty Maids All in a Row, written by Gene Roddenberry, starring Rock Hudson. And yeah, it's a sex romp in a high school.
Right, sexploitation.
but
think.
also a murder mystery. So it's like and so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. It's on my wish list. I'm going to acquire it shortly. Meanwhile, back at Camelot.
Are we still here?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Quiet.
yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
I was
okay.
muted, and I didn't mean to be muted. I read that chat, but I'm not going to read it again.
Organia,
Yeah.
aka shiny people holding hands.
Yeah, shiny. They're literally shiny. They're sparkly.
Max, I
They
love your
smile a lot.
avatar.
Well,
Max's
they're
avatar is the
Canadian.
old $5 bill that is made to look like Leonard Nimoy, and it's great.
The Canadians said to stop doing that, right?
Yeah, and I bought a Sharpie as soon as they told me to stop doing it.
Yes,
You're doing
I
God's
will.
work.
You are. You're not finished until every single $5 bill looks like Spock.
Well, the $5 bill has a new person on it now.
Um,
They really wanted us to stop making our $5 bills into Spock. They changed the person.
they don't like freedom.
No, they like freedom. They're just not Star Trek fans. It's weird.
Human looking Klingons. Yeah,
Well, how do you feel about the brown face of the Klingons, or do you just feel like that's makeup to make
We're
them
just
look
going to
different?
pretend that didn't happen.
We're just not going to talk about it. Cool.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
All right, it's up to Jill.
anyway, it's not like they're trying to perpetuate any kind of stereotypes of
I don't think so either.
anything. So it's like these are aliens.
Yeah.
We're aliens, so
apparently, Mr. Kolakos, I don't know if that's pronounced right. Apparently, he had input on his makeup design. He said he wanted to look like Genghis Khan.
Makes sense.
That is true. So they did do that.
But I do like, and
the
that's
Mongolians.
yeah, but like the beard that Kolakos has is like iconic as a trait of Klingons. Like in terms of having lavish beards or even severe little Van Dykes. Like I enjoy the precedents that are set during this introduction of the Klingons.
I mean, it's wonderful actually.
Mm-hmm.
The sash. I mean, the sash even carries over to Worf.
Yep.
Yeah. Worf wore the same one. I'm guessing from what I heard. Is that right?
Well, I mean, his was silver. I think it started off gold.
I read that it was the exact same sash, but apparently it was made out of burlap, just painted. And now it's in the Smithsonian, I guess.
Well, and in terms of the Klingon logo, and we'll see it as we see Core. Like the Klingon logo is on evidence on the sash, and it does carry over to Next Generation on Worf's sash. But that was the original before we got the 3 triangle sort of Klingon logo. There was like a braid of such, and we'll see it. We'll see it eventually here, and I'll point it out.
Please do.
Yeah.
So Captain Infinity's here. You already said hi to him.
Cheers, Captain Infinity.
And Eugene Bird.
Hello,
hey,
Eugene.
Bird.
He puts the same number of digits afterwards for pi as I do. That's nice. And Max Redstone says, Core, the Dar Master, and also a sucker for Kivas and Trillium.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because that's what Spock is selling.
You wouldn't think a lot of Vulcans would become merchants, but
I thought that was weird too.
Well, you probably wouldn't be able to haggle with them, I'm guessing. They're probably very firm with their prices.
This is 2 for $5.
Yeah.
We want one.
Or $2.50 a piece, right?
Well,
my Trillium costs 2 quatlus.
The way I get around that is we don't have replicators yet, so Vulcans still need to get some imports. So
I didn't even think about the economics of the situation.
That's why they have to go around and sell some stuff.
Right. The Klingons didn't seem too surprised to find a Vulcan on that planet.
It is a common endeavor.
At least the chat isn't as stagnant as the Organians, according to Spock. Oh, right. Yeah, Spock says that they haven't developed at all.
Yeah.
They're arrested development.
Well, it's the clue that we realize later on why, because it was just manufactured for their amusement,
Exactly.
you could say, I guess.
Yeah, right. Kor is still the best Klingon, in my opinion, says Sub Commander Tull.
Wow.
Even though he looks completely different in Deep Space Nine.
But okay, so how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I know the 3 Klingons from TOS were all in DS9 with extremely redesigned makeup. And I don't know what my opinion is because I don't. Did they explain what happened? Or is it like an evolution where they evolved? Or?
They explained in Enterprise what happened. I don't want to give that away if you don't know. Like, I feel like you should watch it.
I probably won't.
I mean, do you want me to? It's like a spoiler, I guess.
I probably won't watch Enterprise. Everybody, I bet I'm probably the only one here who hasn't seen it.
It's only 3. It's a 3-episode arc or 2-episode arc. If you just watch those episodes,
and it's got John Schuck in it. It's great.
I mean, we're probably talking peak Enterprise.
Well, I tried to get into it, but everybody was saying it doesn't get good till like the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th season.
Well, this was the 4th season, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the beauty of Enterprise is that you can watch that 3-episode arc. Is it 3 episodes?
It's 2 or 3. Well, I see.
It's 2 or
3. It kind of touches with a different 2 or 3 episode arc.
Okay. Oh, that's true. That's with the augments.
Yeah, you got to watch the augments and then for it to make sense. So it might be
like
a lot
5. Of homework. Yeah,
it might be like 5 episodes. But just watch the whole 4th season.
They do, yeah. Like you can't go wrong with Enterprise.
Stop before the last episode.
Yeah.
The last episode is the one you don't watch.
Last episode ever.
That's the one with Troy and Riker, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that hit the fan magazine even before that episode aired. Everybody was upset. And it was interesting because, that was a leak that Paramount tried to suppress. But nope, it hit the airwaves and everything before the episode premiered. So, yeah, it was met with derision from the very beginning.
But long story short, yes, they do explain why Klingons get their foreheads or why they lost their foreheads.
Okay.
Yes. And so, going on with this episode, we'll worry about the changes in Klingons and their DNA and all that stuff later.
I haven't even seen a Klingon yet.
I know. The Klingon sash is called a baldric, a belt worn over the shoulder that could also be used to carry a weapon, usually a sword or other implement such as a bungle or a drum.
Yes.
And so we get a captain's log. Did I put that in the private chat yet?
Not yet.
Burner Prey 5, could you give me your Captain Kirk and read the private chat, please?
Oh, of course. Sorry about that. Captain's log, stardate 3198.4. We have reached Organia and established standard orbit. No signs of hostile activities in this area.
Yes. Uhura reports a fleet of Klingon ships, but can't say where exactly. Kirk and Spock go to the planet. Sulu is left behind in command, but he's ordered not to fight alone. And so they beam down to a medieval kind of Renaissance fair, complete with a castle. But despite being primitive, the people don't seem to care that people just materialized out of nowhere. So the beaming doesn't bother them, which is like, this is the kind of thing that Star Trek in the future would try to avoid to adhere to the Prime Directive, but things are just getting started here, so they're not really worried about that now.
Fair enough.
And actually, I like it because it serves a greater purpose to give a hint that the Organians are not exactly primitive. So,
Kirk says something, but he says you think people beam in all the time. That's
Yeah.
just how uninterested they were.
Exactly. So everybody knows the twist that the Organians aren't really a primitive culture. But it's a great one. And this is the early hint. So,
It is something to watch this episode and know that that guy is the most powerful person in the sector.
yes, he's so kind and he's willing to he's willing to talk to Kirk and let Spock investigate the village. And Aelborn is played by John Abbott. And I don't even know old television, but I can tell he's somebody. He's in a lot of things. And Kirk tries to explain that the Klingons are coming as conquerors and dictators who will turn the population into slaves, if not just, outright killing. And Aelborn is sly about it. He says, "What you're saying, Captain, is that we seem to have a choice between dealing with you or your enemies."
Yeah.
So Kirk says, though, by dealing with the Federation, they could have a choice, meaning they'd have a choice whether or not they want planetary interaction with the Federation. But if they choose to, they could have even more than protection. They could have technicians and schools and,
We
public
have no
facilities.
need for that, Captain.
But yeah, they said, no, we don't need any help. We're good.
So, like, what's Jim doing?
What do you mean?
What is his mission?
His mission is to keep the Klingons from establishing a base of operations on Organia.
Right.
And right now, he's just waiting for the fleet because Sulu had to go off.
The
And-
native inhabitants of this planet are like, we're good.
Well, even if they are good, Kirk is kind of stuck there with Spock. They have
Yes,
nowhere to
that's true.
go. 8 more Klingon ships are arriving right now. And so Sulu has to go off and go get help from Starfleet. So no matter what's going on with Kirk and the Organians, something's going down with the Klingon ships, and Starfleet is being called to deal with it.
Yes.
So it's not like even if Kirk had the chance to leave, he can't. I mean,
No, he has to make sure that the Organians rise against the Klingons.
that is the hope.
But they don't want to.
No,
They
They
don't
don't.
see themselves in any type of danger.
Yeah.
That's where the disconnect. And
Right.
I'll
We find that
say
out
it's a
later
little-
on. It's very pacifist. If you had not seen this episode, it makes you think, well, these people are pacifists. They don't care, which is going to be their destruction. But we find out
Yes.
that's not the case at all in the end.
Mm-hmm.
you
Yes.
kind of feel like a little bit of explanation from these guys in the beginning could have gone a long way.
Yeah, it would have helped,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, they could have said we're here to make sure there's peace, or we won't allow war, or something. You're right.
They could have just
that-
said, we're actually pure energy.
Right.
Actually, Captain, we evolved beyond your physical body.
Why couldn't they lead with that? Why did they feel like they had to hide their superiority or whatever?
Because they're not show-offy. They don't necessarily need to flex.
Yeah,
They know that
were,
they're kick-ass.
they were
Maybe they're-
hoping to not reveal
Yeah.
their secret, I think.
Yeah,
I
that's what
prefer
I'm
that.
thinking. I think they did it only because they felt they had to. They were backed into a corner because the war was imminent, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I guess the real reason is what they say later. They say that being around you guys is painful to us, so they don't
Yeah.
want to be. They
I'm
don't want to interact.
so angry at your fighting.
It's bad enough having to look like you. It's like, yeah.
I feel very constricted.
So the second oddity happens with the Organians. To hint at their true nature, we meet Trey Fane, who seems to see things beyond himself, knowing that the Klingon ships are in orbit, sending supplies and men with weapons. So look, more Klingon ships.
No, Mr. CCDV, I'm not saying Klingons don't flex. I'm saying Organians don't. Until they do.
And so here's the next captain's log.
Mhm.
Oops, here we go. Ready?
Oh, do I? Okay, hang on. Captain's log, stardate 3201.7. Mr. Spock and I are trapped on the planet Organia, which is in the process of being occupied by forces of the Klingon Empire. And Shatner always says Klingon. He doesn't say Klingon. He doesn't say Klingon. He says Klingon Empire. The Organians have provided us with native clothing in the hopes that we may be taken for Organians.
Of course, Spock can't be mistaken for an Organian. So they come up with their cover story for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, he's going to be a merchant.
Yeah, I thought this
Kivas
was
and
odd
Baggio.
because you think Core, however it's pronounced, would be aware of the Enterprise battle, that short battle up in orbit where one of the battle cruisers was destroyed. So you think he'd be highly suspicious of finding Starfleet members there on the planet?
Well,
Well,
that's
yes,
why they
they
use
are.
the mind sifter.
Yeah, I would say he was. They did take him to an interrogation.
Yes.
Zapped his mind.
I know, but it would have been nice if Core would have at least announced, we know that the Enterprise is here. We know that they destroyed one of our vessels. So there may be crew members here on the surface. I don't know. Because there is no mention of it.
And so you've seen a Klingon. Here he is.
There he
And
is.
that buckle's made of bubble wrap, just painted.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry. What would it? No, hang on a second. Dun 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 dun. Rup, rup. That's the Klingon theme.
Yes, they're coming to conquer and take over, but I do like how Core is impressed with Kirk even before knowing him. Thrilled with Kirk's rebellious streak and how it's clear he's not rolling out the welcome mat like the Organians are.
You have a ram amongst the sheep.
Nice.
Yes, Kirk says, "You're here. There's nothing I can do about it." And Core says, "Good. Honest hatred. Very refreshing." Actually, I think I asked Scotty to work on his core, so
Yeah, but it's not going to be good.
okay.
You did ask.
Well, I mean, I could ask Bert
Good.
to do it too.
Well, hey,
Okay, you worked
give
on
it.
it.
No,
do
give it to Bird. Give it to Bird.
Oh,
Do you want to be cooler?
I mean, I would love to be Core, but I can't fill Core's shoes.
No one can, but
Okay,
I got a live stream too.
sure.
We got business.
Good, honest hatred. Very refreshing. However, it makes no difference whether you welcome me or not. I am here and will stay. You are now subjects of the Klingon Empire. You will find there are many rules and regulations. They will be posted. Violations of even the smallest of them will be punished by death.
Yeah. So Core makes Kirk the liaison because he doesn't trust the others on the council with their stupid, idiotic smiles. He says, "Smile and smile. I don't trust men who smile too much." And so, to contrast with the voluntary association with the Federation, we describe the tyranny or order, depending on your perspective, with the Klingons. And the Federation, yes, it is true that both the Federation and the Klingons do absorb planets into their empires. But,
Federation.
yes, the Federation of Planets. But the Federation asks very nicely and provides lots of benefits. But I don't know. I feel like the Federation will give planetary aid in the form of Starfleet without all the conditions that you get with the Klingons.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to kill you. And, I mean, remember, the Klingons, like, for every Klingon soldier killed, we'll kill 1,000 Organians.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's their idea of fairness.
Starfleet doesn't go that far. They only kill about a dozen
Oh, okay. See, that's a lot
for
better.
every Starfleet killed. It's only a dozen.
Hmm. I mean, I get that that's a joke. We don't do that.
It's a joke in TOS. I mean, in Star Trek Picard, I think that's legit.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Nowadays, that's true. Fair enough. I have no idea what's the deal with Starfleet now, but I don't want to worry about that.
Well, but Starfleet seems to be a bit of a dick in this episode.
Really?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think that they're just being as sort of possessive as the Klingon Empire. It's the reason why. It's the reason why the Organians step in and say, like, seriously, guys.
Yeah, but if the Organian planet was a legit, like, just
Federation world?
Planet of human beings or aliens that had no superpowers, that were really stuck in like a Bronze Age or 1,000-year-old civilization, the Klingons would have killed hundreds of them.
True.
And the Federation wouldn't.
That's true.
Absolutely.
They're in a terrible position.
Yep. I agree. The Federation is the more benevolent of the
subject
powers.
is addressed in a later episode. Yeah, remember that a subject is addressed in a later episode where the Meek civilization are giving weapons beyond their capabilities.
Yeah, exactly.
War. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now I want to hear your core, Scotty. This is core describing the order that he's trying to purport or trying to.
From this day on, no public assemblages of more than 3 people. All publications to be cleared through this office. Neighborhood controls will be established. Hostages selected. A somewhat lengthy list of crimes against the state.
Yeah.
I told you. My core is going to be, it's going to be Palpatine.
That's fine.
All right.
So, yeah, Core hands this proclamation to Kirk, who puts it down because obviously this is the Organians giving up their freedoms, according, and these are course conditions.
Well, okay, and so I'm glad you got this slide. If you look at the top of the letterhead of the proclamation, that is the same symbol that is on Core's baldric, and it is also the same symbol that is on Worf's baldric in the first season of Next Generation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is the OG Klingon symbol.
Nice. And Max Redstone says, okay, wait, that's where we were. I think that's where we were. And Captain Infinity, all right, about the real world. And CCDV says Scotty is engineer. I don't know why that outranks navigation.
I do. Like, I think the chief engineer, it makes sense for the chief engineer to be third in command.
I agree. Because he knows the ship.
And he cares about it the most.
And Max Redstone says, at least the chat. Oh, wait. Yeah, I read that one too. All right. So where am I really? I should be starring this so I know better.
I should be helping, but I'm not.
Oh, and Tony says he's having a party this Sunday. So check out his channel. And I have been, if anybody's noticing, I told the Stream Element Spot to post random links at random times. So it's been doing that for me.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, you can set up timers.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, that way you don't have to worry about plugging them in yourself. So I just
because I always forget. I get busy and I forget to do that. So I feel terrible when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely think the new Klingon symbol was an improvement because
absolutely
that's just too complicated.
Well, it just looks like a sine wave or something.
Yeah, I didn't really see this as like, oh, this is the Klingon symbol. I just thought it was pretty letterhead.
It works as letterhead, but not much else.
But when we see
Oh,
the sash,
Sub Commander Toll wants to hang out. Hold
hey,
on.
great.
I didn't notice that. Let me send. I'm sending him a link now.
I really like, if you're going to take over a planet, make a proclamation.
That's true. At least they're very organized. The Klingons.
They do. Or you know what? Maybe the Klingons decimated a rainforest to make paper, just as a symbol to the rest of the world.
Lemon Pie says, my prime directive is to kick Klingon ass. This may or may not have been said by Kirk in this episode. Well, since they don't really use the prime directive in this episode, I'll allow it.
Well, and I'm fascinated by this. Like, I'm fascinated by the Klingons' first introduction because I also grew up with them becoming allies.
That's right. And it's even hinted at in this very first episode where we meet them.
True.
Oh, wow. We haven't got... I forgot that I put Doomcock's channeling in there. That's fun.
I've heard of this Doomcock.
I think people have. Oh, Matt G is here. Hello, Matt G.
Hail, Matt G.
Oh, look, there you are. There's your channel, The Phantasmagorium Show.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Captain Fandom Nerd. That's fun. Lemon Pie says, do you think Kirk offered male baldness products to them?
I do like the idea. Thank you, Captain Infinity. Sulu Dawn. I would love to see a prequel.
I've been waiting for Gorilla to give us an opinion. The Organians are a bunch of assholes. I mean, where the F were they during the Dominion War or even all the other border conflicts?
I think they left the galaxy at some point. They're like, we can't save these people.
Yeah. Your presence makes us very agitated.
That makes sense.
A whale probe was coming. They're like, everybody get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Shit, it's the whales, guys. We gotta go.
We can't stand up to the whale probe.
We can't. Remember the last time we fought the whales? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so the hippie godlike aliens had to leave. That makes sense. Max Redstone says, in hindsight, it would have been more convincing if Kirk and Spock said they were there to sell reverse mortgages or Colonial Penn life insurance. And hello to D. Oberg. Happy to be here for Thrilling Trek Tuesday.
Hail, D. Oberg. Good to see you.
Good day.
Tijuana Organia is where you get the best Trillium, if you know what I mean, says Tony.
See, and my biggest mistake with this episode is it's Spock is a purveyor of Kivas and Trillium. But I always call it Kivas and Fajo because of the most toys. So that's a Saul Rubinek joke. Remember Kivas Fajo with his Veron T disruptors?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that was a pretty. It was a very painful weapon. I remember that.
It was a disruptor, and also it's interesting in this episode. That's the sound of Klingon phasers, and it's like, no, Klingons have disruptors.
Yeah. Oh, does anybody want to sing this to the tune of Jingle Bells? Okay, no.
I'll take that as a no.
Okay, so you're right. It's my channel, so I have to sing. Better not smile. You're gonna be bummed. Stock up on Kivas and Trillium. The Dahar Master's coming. to town.
Yeah. So was that to
Very
Jingle
good.
Bells or was that anyway?
I know. I can't sing. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that was
You did
Santa
it.
Claus is
Excellent.
coming to town.
Yeah, it just wasn't Jingle Bells, but it was.
Oh,
very
jingle.
good.
Whatever works. One
Oh,
of those
jingle
generic
bells.
Christmas songs, right?
Max, none of that made sense. Hey, Sub
You better
Commander
not
Cal.
smile. You better
Howdy.
be bummed. Stock up on Kivas and chili. See, I can't sing it without making it into something.
I think Max may have meant Santa Claus is coming to town, because if you try to sing that
It
to the
works
tune
better.
of Jingle, and Jingle Bells, I don't know if it would work the way the sentences are written.
He hates it
Yeah.
when you smile. He loves good, honest hate. He'll kill 100 of your people, so you better be sure to cooperate.
Very well done.
Oh, moving on.
Oh, also welcome to the stream, Commander Towel.
Thank you for. I hope to be commander someday, but it's just sub commander right now. So
Hello there.
Great.
nice to be with all of you.
Applause.
Our pleasure.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think I was able to join for one other of these, but fortunately the schedules aligned today. So,
Well, we're glad to have you here.
and I love this episode. It's been a favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, and it is one of the other examples of it gives me the confidence as a man to wear yellow. If Shatner can pull it off, I can wear yellow.
Mm-hmm. Sub Commander Tall, can you read your?
Oh, this
Chat?
comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I forget what the. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the Klingon symbols, and I never noticed that the symbol on the letterhead was the same as what was on the baldric. That's new for me, and
Yeah.
interesting to think that could be the original Klingon symbol, which it probably was. But you could also just imagine they have more than one symbol for different parts of the government or the military or whatever.
Or house.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Lemon Pie says, "Is the Klingon making his proclamation to a shower curtain?"
Yes.
Captain Infinity says, "Thank you, Scotty. I'm glad someone appreciates me."
I don't appreciate you, Captain, just for the
And
record.
the Stream Elements bot appreciates clobbering time. Subscribe. And Tony says, "I think Megatron and Saris are going to be added to the Dr. Evil's Legion of Evil." Oh, and hail to Cardinal Sin. Great to
Hey,
see you. And
it is
also Rancor Steve. Wow.
Steve.
Great to see you guys here.
Good day,
Hello.
eh?
I think this episode has the pure energy Spock sample from the song by Information Society.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yes.
Yes,
it's
I heard
true.
that too.
Don't feel bad regardless of others say. I can't sing either, anti-derivative Joe. Yeah, but you have the courage to do it anyway. And so you sound better
Well,
than I do.
you did it. You had the courage.
I guess so.
Which, by the way, I don't think you needed because you sounded very good.
Oh, thank you. And so also this episode talks about a device. We never get to see this device, but it's good to have a little bit of science fiction in my political intrigue episode. So
The mind sifter.
yeah, we're introduced to this terrifying mind reading device. The Klingons call it a mind ripping device because that's what you can do if you have it on high enough a setting. This device will read your mind at the expense of it. And it kind of reminds me of Dagger of the Mind, except now it's extractions from your mind instead of implantations into your mind.
It always makes me hungry for a nice bowl of mental vegetables.
Vegetable.
Yes.
I don't think we hear about this again, though, do we?
No, it's the only time. It's too bad, though. I mean, yeah.
No, the Romulans seem to take over on the mind reading devices and things, and then later the Cardassians.
so that after they use it, you go back to normal. You don't know that it was ever used on you.
Sorry.
No, well, just real quick, that's just Jill. You said something. I mean, I think that's a very interesting point about the Romulans, and I have a sort of vested interest in them. But I think you can really sort of track the Klingons and the Romulans as the two main adversaries in Star Trek, and they kind of flip their roles between the original series and the Next Generation. I mean, I think in the original series, and you see it in this episode, and you see it more even in the second season, the Klingons are more. They're shiftier, they're kind of meaner, they're not to be trusted, they're kind of sneakier. They have these other devices, whereas the Romulans are more honorable. They're more kind of like a, Roman warrior kind of thing.
Yeah, they'll fight you, but you're going to be face to face.
Yeah, and you respect them. And that kind of changed in the Next Generation, and the Romulans became the real sort of subversive, not to be trusted enemy, and the Klingons had not all of this, I was just broad strokes, but it's interesting to me.
It's very interesting. Because I always thought, like, I am racist against Romulans because I've always thought that they're duplicitous. But now that you mention it, in the original series, they were not duplicitous. And the Klingons are the ones who are sneakier.
I don't know. It's called the cloaking device. Balance of Terror. They were pretty duplicitous.
Okay.
Shit. Duplicitous. I can't say the word.
Duplicitous.
Yes, yeah. Definitely. But
is duplicitous not a word? It's delicious, but duplicitous.
But I will say then, for the Enterprise incident, that was totally the Federation at fault. I mean, that was the Federation being that word.
Yes.
Well, right, because they wanted that cloaking device, and they were going to go in there and pretty much steal it.
Like, in terms of the expansion of the Federation territory in the galaxy, every time that they've done it in an episode of Star Trek that we've watched so far, they've been wrong and bad at it. Like from Arena on Cestus 3 to this side of Paradise. And
on this side of Paradise, they kind of just don't explain themselves. They kind of just give an order, and Kirk follows it.
Yes, and this is another episode where Kirk is just following orders. He says himself, "I'm a soldier, not a diplomat."
Yeah. Oh, and Scotty, can you read this by core since it has the vegetable?
Happily.
In it.
It's a mind sifter or mind ripper, depending on how much force is used. We can record every thought, every bit of knowledge in a man's mind. Of course, when that much force is used, I sound like Bane. When that much force is used, the mind is emptied. Permanently, I'm afraid. What's left is more vegetable than human.
Yes, and we find out that Spock is able to get through it because, he's a Vulcan and he's able to put up shields in his mind. But we get the point that if Kirk went through this, his mind would be emptied.
Yes, but he also went through like the device, the Tantalus. No, not the Tantalus.
It's true. He did.
He went through the
Dagger of the Mind device.
Dagger of the Mind thing.
Yeah.
The neural neutralizer.
Yeah, so perhaps he might have been able to handle it to a certain degree and just be rescued from it somehow. But we don't get there in this episode.
No, luckily he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't have to encounter it. But Kirk does almost get into a scuffle with the Klingon when they bump into each other. But he knows that they have a job to do and he has to concentrate on that job. So it's great. You get to see when Kirk is controlling his rage here. So it's not always just Spock controlling his emotions.
Although Spock is sort of controlling Kirk's emotions a little bit by like pushing him back. Yes. You didn't really think I was going to beat his head in, did you?
You're right.
I thought you might.
There's a lot of bad ADR in this episode as well.
There is some, and probably because they were outside. I mean, actually, I love this location. This part of the old. I think they filmed part of the cage here. You know, the part when they're on Rigel 7 and Pike is fighting with the big barbarian guy in
Yes.
the castle. This was part of that 40 acres.
Right,
plot up
and
in
we're gonna
Culver
see.
City.
Right, we'll see some sets from Cat's Paw. They will use a lot of them over and over, which is okay.
Absolutely.
I like how the munitions dumper and Christmas wrapping.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since they can't convince the Organians verbally that they should receive their help, they're going to show them physically how they can fight back against the Klingons since they're stuck on the planet anyway until Starfleet can arrive.
Hello, hi. Sorry, Organian here. We don't want to fight back.
Yeah, but you don't understand. The Klingons are going to take over.
No,
They're gonna be
you
slaves
don't
and everything.
understand. We are superior to you.
Oh, so why
and
don't you
we're
tell
doing
us
our
you're
best to
superior?
stay out of the way.
I know, right? But since
So
they
what you're doing right now, Captain, is kind of effing up our Cabbage Patch.
yeah, but since the Organians won't be clear about that, Kirk and Spock continue on their way and they destroy some ammunitions.
I don't want to tell you why I want you to go. Just go.
So
Why are you imposing yourself upon me?
well, yes, I
Boom!
know that the Organians didn't agree to fight against the Klingons, but
Yeah.
Kirk still has himself and Spock to take care of. So
Yes. So
They're-
they are going to flip a table in the middle of a world and be like, we're getting you into this war whether you like it or not.
well, because Kirk and Spock don't want to be assaulted by the Klingons themselves, so
They seem to be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah. And they're hoping the Organians are going to get the hint. As a result, we get a wonderful pyrotechnic show.
Captain Kirk, we have done our best to hide you, and all you do is make yourself apparent.
But
I'm on
fireworks.
Airborne side.
Oh yeah, I know, it makes sense, but they don't even. Yeah, but
Yes.
to Captain Kirk, the Organians are a primitive society who just seem to be rolling over to the Klingons.
You have no idea, Captain. We can cut a bitch whenever we wish.
Yeah, so if they would have just demonstrated that to Kirk, he would have understood, and they would have been like, "Okay, let's go home." The Organians, however,
Okay, keep going. I think that Kirk is being just like he's a guy who's showing up and pointing at things and saying, "Change this," and it's like you don't understand, Captain.
so tell me why I should understand.
I don't have any responsibility to explain ourselves. We wish to be left in peace. What? Fight the Klingons! We don't wish to. Why not?
Does your personal freedom mean so little to you? Yeah, so that's how he sees it.
We
He
are
sees them as
completely
illusions.
free, Captain. Don't you understand? These
he wants
petty
them to show
squabbles mean
courage.
nothing. Sorry, I'll stop. I should mute myself.
No, you shouldn't. What you're doing is amazing. Don't stop being yourself, Scotty. Are you kidding me?
Meanwhile, back on Battlestar Galactica.
The Organians are not pleased or impressed at the show of violence, which is another hint that they aren't what they seem. And as a culture, at their supposed state of arrested development, they should be marveling at the kind of weaponry that Kirk and Spock employ to blow up everything. But they're not. And to Kirk's frustration, he says, "All I understand is that you apparently don't have the backbone to fight and protect your loved ones." And he tries to lecture them on courage. And it is this lecture where Core begins to listen and barge in. And while we still have you, Bird, could you read Core here? In the
Of
fire
course. You speak of courage. Obviously, you do not know the difference between courage and foolhardiness. Always it is the brave ones who die. the soldiers. I hope you will continue to savor the sweetness of your life. You disgust me.
Yeah. So that's the way that Kor feels towards the Organians, who he also perceives as not protecting themselves. And to keep the Klingons from torturing Kirk with the mind ripping device, the Organians give up his identity while noting the desire for both sides to destroy each other. So
He
So
is
they're getting-
Captain James T. Cook. And you know what? The reverence that Kor shows for Kirk is awesome.
it is. I love it. But he's also still disgusted even more by the Organians. Do you always betray your friends?
Well,
At
and
least
so
he
is Kirk.
admits that they're the Federation is the friend. I mean, it kind of admits it right there that the Organians made the wrong choice.
Yeah, he does.
But I
But
agree.
then-
The glee in his expression when he finds out this is the famous Captain Kirk is it's really delicious.
Yeah, it gives you the idea that everybody in the Klingon Empire knows who Kirk is, and that he's probably
Yeah.
quite a prize if they can ever catch him.
Yes,
Or kill him.
this is the moment here when he realizes he's speaking to Captain Kirk. And it's the first time we get crazy Klingon eyes, so that's really great.
Yay!
Here, there it is.
I do like the fact that we can see his face better. I know a lot of people like the makeup in DS9, but it tends to cover up a lot of the facial expressions.
Yeah, but like, come on. I think that Christopher Lloyd as Kruge shows how much you can do with your face while still being covered in a turtle shell.
Right, but part of acting is your eyebrows, and you can't do that with a Klingon forehead.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah, it's just the eyes, the expressing of the eyes. It just, it's no fault of the actors. It's just that's what happens when you cover your eyes with makeup.
But like
Gowron manages to do some
Yeah.
some crazy
stuff.
eyes.
Oh
Who's
yeah,
that?
he does. Gowron.
Gowron, Chancellor of the Klingon High Council?
Oh, from the Star Trek movies.
that Gowron.
No,
yeah.
from
Well, no.
from the television shows.
Yes.
TOS?
Robert O'Reilly, though. From
Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. And I think he was
Gotcha.
actually was he in an episode of Voyager? I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, no, I think that I think that the prosthetics that are used in the modern Klingon makeup, I think is pretty impressive and expressive.
I do too. I think it's
There's
great.
prosthetics that move.
The actors move the prosthetics
Yeah,
with their
the
eyebrows.
actors move around it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
James Worthy could pull it off.
And
He's not a good actor.
Are you talking about Kurtzman Trek or which Trek?
No, we're talking about
No.
Next Generation.
Okay.
7:35 Club only here today.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a rolled up newspaper tapped on my forehead when I.
No, I'm
brought
just
up
thinking
the
about
filth.
Warp. I'm thinking of like Warp, for example. I don't remember him able to move his eyebrows.
Oh, come on.
I
He was
do.
very expressive.
Okay.
So, but to
Well,
your
I
point
think both
earlier,
things can be true. I mean, you can be very expressive, but you are going to have a limitation if you can't show your eyebrows. I mean, they do a great job working around it, but the more of your face you cover up, obviously, the less you can use. So,
Yeah,
it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
but when
it
I
makes
think
sense to
about
say
when I
prosthetics
think
you
about
have.
prosthetics
Well,
and
you
I
don't
think
have to be
about
sorry.
how it
Just
wasn't necessarily stolen from a performance, like in terms of Geordie LaForge during 7 seasons of Next Generation, Guy had his eyes covered, and I thought he was very engaging without the use of his eyes.
Me
Yeah.
too. And it's just a fact to say that the more prosthetics you have on your face, the less you're going to be able to express. But it's the balance between the believability of having the alien, someone who looks alien versus
Yeah.
not.
I would like to
And-
point out that both of these men are Caucasian.
Yes. But to your point earlier, you were saying that Kor has a great admiration for not only Kirk, but Starfleet in general. He calls it a
Yes.
remarkable instrument. And he admires Kirk. And I really like how he knows that Kirk destroyed their their stuff. And this is the part of the episode I laughed at this joke. Something was destroyed.
Yes.
Nothing inconsequential, I hope.
Yes, that was great. Oh, and this is when he says, like, and this is the first interrogation. What is the distribution of your Starfleet across the quadrant or whatever he says? And the smile that crosses Kirk's face and he just looks at him and says, "Go climb a tree," is one of my favorite things.
Yes. Yes, I
This
love
is
that. too.
amazing.
Oh, okay, let me skip to that. Yeah. That's right. Survival must be earned, Captain. Tell me about the dispersal of your Starfleet. Go climb a tree.
Your friend killed you, a mental vegetable.
Yes, but he also talks about. Kirk says we're nothing like you. We're a democratic body. And Kor says, I'm not referring to minor ideological differences. I mean that we are similar as a species. Here we are on a planet of sheep. 2 tigers, predators, hunters, killers. And it is precisely that which makes us great. And there is a universe to be taken. And so Kor outlines the parallels between Klingons and the Federation. While they carry out their planetary relations differently, both of them are building up their resources.
You know, I should go all Chancellor Gowron, or no, sorry, Gorkin on this, but I'm gonna do Worf, and it's like there is no honor with disagreeing with these people. You must see we are better as allies. Like, I am looking at this episode from a Klingon perspective, and I know that Klingons are awesome. They are my friends. And I'm watching this episode, and Kor is not supposed to be my friend. And he's the bad guy. And so I'm watching this, and I'm like, how far we've grown. I am so happy to see a Klingon. You guys are awesome. I don't know why we're fighting.
Yeah, but it's definitely a later conception of them. I mean, they were pretty much just villains for the first couple seasons. It's not really till you get with Kang.
A
And,
Klingon killed Kirk's son. I'm not supposed to like these guys.
Yeah.
Yes, he's had enough of them.
But you know what? I still think that Martok is a cool guy.
I'll be honest. I never liked David anyway.
I'm glad he's dead.
Well, at least
He was almost the Wesley of the TOS.
Well, Bird, do
He
you mean the
was.
character or the actor or both? Because you're talking about Metric Butchick or whatever his name was, right?
Merrick
Honest,
Buttrick, yes.
both. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw anything else he was in.
I was, but I
was in
I just
TNG.
saw him in something the other day. Yeah, interesting. But he didn't do very much. You're right.
I do appreciate David Marcus as a character, and in terms of introducing Kirk's love child, I think that was an interesting choice.
And at least when he does die, he dies a hero trying to protect both.
He sacrifices himself for the sake of for one person.
Yes.
Your son died most bravely. He saved
And
Spock.
Yeah.
He saved us all.
And if you'd like to hear
I
more
thought
about Star
you should
Trek
know.
3, you can check out Mr. Brown's Alliance, where Jill was having a conversation about that very movie.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
It was.
So the Organians, they're stuck in prison for just a little bit. The Organians free them though because they know that the Klingons plan to commit violence on them.
No, see, that's what I was wondering. Are those the same cells from Cat's Paw?
I think there's still the same cells from Return of the Archons.
Or that too? I could be wrong.
Maybe.
No, I think
maybe.
I think it's just a common set.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all these sets are common. They're used for many TV shows and movies. Yeah,
for sure. Yes.
And so, yes, the tables have turned now. Now it's the Organians protecting Kirk and Spock.
Now that's not the Klingon symbol on the wall, right?
Oh, the thing the thing I love about this that I noticed is you can see the torch slowly burning the
Burning the
drywall
wall. I know. I thought about that
of
too.
the
It's like,
set.
no,
Yeah.
it would be designed not to do that in real life, but you know.
So this is the other Klingon. He doesn't have a name, but he's just saying there were guards there, and but we
I think
had 10 guards on them,
his
but
name is
there was no
Larry.
one there. Larry the
Yeah.
Klingon.
Yep.
Where the Klingon.
Thanks. Aelborn continues to talk about not wanting to use violence, and Kor gets frustrated because the Organians won't give up Kirk and Spock, so he takes 200 Organians and kills them, or at least he thinks he kills them. And he's going to do it. He's going to do it every hour until they get Kirk and Spock. So, how do you hear?
Yeah.
That's a
Please
nice
read
table.
Captain Kirk, please.
Gentlemen, I have no great love for you, your planet, your culture. Despite that, Mr. Spock and I are going to go out there and quite probably die in an attempt to show you that there are some things worth dying for.
And so the Organians give them back their weapons and everything,
Right,
even
they
though
just
they
happen to be
say
right over there in the cabinet, you know.
yeah, yeah, they've
I
always been
I
there.
liked that they had the folded up uniforms as well.
Yeah, and when we're left alone with the Organians, they call him brave but foolish and savage. So we know now that these are more that we're getting a more evolved species here.
Well, they have to prepare themselves.
So Kirk and Spock are on their way to Kor.
And
They're
this
going
is
after
shot day
Kor.
for night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's shot during the
No,
daytime
you're
with
right.
the-
You're
with
right.
the lens called day for night, yeah.
Oh, that's
You're-
cool. I was
yeah.
wondering why it looks kind of strange.
Mhm.
Thank you. So they're going after the top dog here.
Oh, right.
I wondered if they were setting it to stun because the Klingons threatened to kill Organians for every one that was killed, or just because it was the right thing to do.
It's the right. I think it's because it's the right thing to do. It's
I
sort
agree.
of a mantra for Star Trek, something that should always be the case, to attempt to disable before killing.
Right.
That's what I thought initially.
Right. Or maybe use a kill setting only if it's self-defense, because they're not,
Yeah, I mean-
those people aren't directly endangering them.
That's certainly what I wanted to believe the first time I watched it. But then after, rewatching, I wondered if it wasn't because the threat from the Klingons to kill 1,000 Organians for every one that they kill.
That would
Yeah.
make sense.
Kirk
They
should
both
use
sound good.
Kirk should have used that stun setting for that thing that came out of Chekhov's ear in Star Trek 2. I mean, it was really heartless to just disintegrate that thing. He should have stunned that little worm, and they could maybe talk to it and made peace or something.
Vulcan mind meld.
Well, that is true. In the movies, they don't take much time to worry about the sentience of random animal life that they come across.
Space jellyfish.
Yeah. Those are definitely sentient. They were creating. They're basically space jellyfish that are replicators, essentially. But of course, these new episodes don't even hint on that or care about that or whatever. Anyway,
Well, they're not the same species, I don't think.
are they not? Are they really?
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
Yeah,
I
they
think
are.
they were intended to be.
Well,
They absolutely were. I think they even mentioned it in the episode.
no, they mentioned Farpoint, but back on An Errand of Mercy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Cora thinks he's going to
Fools!
have to kill them all.
So yeah, you wanted me to
Huh.
describe the fight scenes in this episode, and I
Yeah.
watched the fight scenes, and I was like, so Jim jumps on a guy, and that's it.
Well, and the
Well,
guy's in no danger. His hands are between the rope and the neck, so it's like, okay.
Like
well, yes.
if you are listening to this podcast or this show and you're wondering do I have what it takes to be an actor? I would like you to watch this episode of Star Trek, and the gentleman who's playing the Klingon, like, you can be an actor. If this guy can be an actor, so can you.
I swear.
He's
He wasn't
good. Am I being rude? But this
He
guy
wasn't the best
sucks.
Klingon.
You're not wrong.
Well, he does sing like a bird pretty easily, I guess.
Like, this is how I would be as a Klingon in 1966.
Yeah, they get information out of him pretty easily, and Spock knocks him out with the neck pinch.
Yes. And even that is like not satisfying. The way he
Yes.
way he gets neck pinched, and I'm just like, really? That was your take? Why did they hire you?
It's almost like Spock missed. I mean, he kind of went down before Spock
He
even kind
did.
pushed
It was
the
like a weak handshake.
Well, that guy wasn't actually an actor. He was just at Desilu that day to service the air conditioning, and they realized they needed someone to fulfill this role.
Are
and
you
he just...
for real?
No, I'm just being snarky today.
Yeah, he has
That
to
would
be
be-
a member of
that would
SAG in order to have a. He has to be a member of SAG in order to have any lines on screen.
Okay,
But
that explains it.
I would like to clarify that I like, despite the performance, I don't think that he's a bumbling Klingon. I think he's still like he's still a good Klingon as a representation of what Klingons are.
Well, he did the best for what lines were handed to him.
Yes.
Speaking of lines, Cora's having a good one coming up. And
It seems like that device on the table. It looks like a piece of Federation equipment. It would seem odd that the Klingons are using it. We've seen it before in previous episodes. That device that's on the table.
oh, that
That
yeah.
one. Yeah, that looks like a Federation. That looks like something on a Federation vessel because we've seen it in prior episodes.
Well, it's possible that the Klingons have taken over Federation worlds every once in a while, and they're able to steal some of the technology.
Yeah,
It would be
possible.
cooler if it was like black with red buttons.
But Bert, can you read the last quote by Cora here?
Sure. Sentimentality, mercy, the emotions of peace. Your weakness, Captain Kirk. The Klingon Empire shall win. Think of it. As we sit here in space above us, the destiny of the galaxy will be decided for the next 10,000 years. Can I offer you a drink? We can toast to the victory of the Klingon fleet.
Yeah, I got chills. That's good.
10,000 years.
I want to
Even
drink.
Michael Burnham in the future.
Yeah, and those
With the
leg
sun.
warmers actually came into style in the 1980s.
Lake warmers.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna mention the tights.
Oh yeah, they do look okay in tight. Some people can't really adapt, but they look all right.
That
Spock's
was
a little
great.
skinny. Spock has great knees.
So a fight's about to break out, but everyone has to drop their weapons. They hurt, and then they try to do some hand-to-hand combat. That doesn't work either. That also
Because it
hurts.
hurts.
Everybody's in pain. We find out the Organians have stopped the battle using heat.
Yes.
Even the Enterprise is taken out.
And this is where
Power.
everyone, both Klingon and human, Federation and, well, Klingon, they're all humiliated for their hubris.
Right,
They
and the
are.
Organian says that his image is being broadcast on their home worlds.
Hey, there it
simultaneously.
is. There it is. Okay, so we have Uhura, who is an African American lady, and then we have
Really?
Sulu, who is of Asian origin, and then we have the guy in the blue shirt, who also looks to be an African American.
Yeah,
Then
it's
the
odd to have a
guy-
blue shirt up the helm. Isn't that usually science?
Yeah,
Never
it's
mind.
usually operations. It's usually a yellow shirt.
Operations.
Yeah.
Right, yellow or another red, but okay.
And I don't know why we have an engineer at the helm, but that's a white guy. And then we have another lady who looks like she's wearing the same. I can't see stripes, but there is an African American lady who is on the bridge at the back to
Yeah,
the
she's an
right.
ensign.
She's an ensign. And then there's our boy Eddie Paskey, who plays Mr. Leslie. That's the guy who is hunched over the control panel. So I would just say, I would like to point out, very diverse crew.
Yeah, and the highest ranking on the bridge is the lady, the African and the Japanese.
Yeah,
So
bingo.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we find so that everything on the ship is too hot to handle. The weapons are too hot to handle. You can't.
Except the floors, thank goodness. At least they can
Yeah.
stand on the floors.
That's
What I
because
was
of the
wondering.
shoes.
Right, the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes are able to withstand 350 degrees.
So they just need
But
gloves.
also, when Sulu jumps out of the chair, I was like, really? We're not allowed to sit down?
That chair is an instrument of violence. It's
Apparently.
Well,
all those
because
instruments of violence. The floor's not, but the
Hot
chair
seat.
is.
okay, so we're saying the floor isn't 350.
The floor
No,
isn't.
the floor is neutral.
And they did have gloves in the oven glove. Those are the hot gloves to touch hot items. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no. Scotty uses one in the Galileo 7.
Yeah.
He does. But unfortunately, it has a hole in it. And that's how we lost that finger.
It is unfortunate.
Jill, I gotta get going.
Mhm.
Thank
Makes
you
sense.
so much for having
Oh,
me up.
Take care, Bird.
do
It was
you-
glad
do you by
great to have
chance-
you.
Do you by chance have a minute to give us your review of this episode overall?
Oh, sure. I love the episode. I obviously I love the Klingons. I mean, really, the introduction and I mean, knowing what we know now, that Core is there at the beginning, and I mean at the end in DS9.
Yeah.
The fact that the
Yes.
Organians predict that the Klingons and the Federation will eventually be, find peace and work together, and that Core was the type of person, even in this episode, he could tell that in a different world, him and Kirk could have been friends, and he lives long enough to become friends, whereas unfortunately, the character of Captain Kirk doesn't.
Right.
But I thought it was a wonderful episode.
Agreed. Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you so much for being here.
Definitely one of my
Yeah.
favorites. Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you, Bird. It was great to see
Appreciate
you.
it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
For
to
the
see you.
Empire.
Check out Bird of Prey 5's channel, everyone.
Oh yeah. And at 3 p.m. Central, he's going to. So in about 19 minutes, that's why he has to leave. He's going to have a membership stream for all his members to hang out with him. So if you want to hang out with
Yes,
Bird, go
it
do
was
that.
planned in advance. I apologize. I would have.
No, don't
But
apologize.
yeah, the second Tuesday of the month.
You've got a
is member
schedule
stream,
and you've
so.
got to stick to it. And I'm the one going outside my schedule, so I started late and everything. So,
Well, Bird of Prey, if you had stayed, it would have been glorious.
Kapla, all have a great
Kapla.
stream.
Take care.
Bye.
I love that guy.
I do
Yeah,
too.
that was
I
great.
love him.
Yeah,
And
it's like
guys,
having a celebrity in the chat.
he
On
is.
the panel,
and
on the
if
panel.
you want a chance to go talk to him in about 20 minutes, he's going to have his membership stream. If you're a member of his chat, you're able to go on the panel and chat
Which I
directly with
am, and I will.
Bird of Prey 5. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just
So-
going to slum it here on Jill.
well, we're actually almost done with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, after this is over, I'll wait until
Uh-huh.
after this is.
Yeah, we're almost there actually. That we're
I wouldn't
the
abandon. Yeah.
Organians are oh no, I know you wouldn't, but I do love the fact that my stream starts early enough to stop before he starts usually, but
Yeah.
sometimes the overlap happens.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I just
so-
don't like Wordle.
That's just because you're not good
Non
at it.
sequitur.
Have you ever played it? Anyway.
No.
And we find out the Organians have stopped the battle, and even the power on the Enterprise is mostly taken out.
Yes.
And so Aelborn is standing on the home planet of the Klingon Empire, the home planet of the Federation. So, of course, Kronos and Earth. And of course, we don't know those planet names yet, but
No.
he puts
Well, we know Earth.
Well, we know Earth, but we don't know the Klingon planet yet.
Right. Remember when it was still called Kling?
That was one terrible TNG episode.
It was the first time that they mentioned the Klingon homeworld, and they called it Kling.
That's great. I love that.
Is that early in the TNG?
Yeah.
First season, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Dude, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch first season TNG just to make fun.
I saw it when it first aired.
Yeah, but you gotta check it out again. Like,
No,
look at it as cheese. It's so good.
It's not bad.
It's good
bad,
cheese.
Like there's really bad episodes in season 1, but half of them are actually not so bad.
They're all fun.
My taste has outgrown it by now.
All right.
Okay, so the Organians are stopping the war, and Kirk says you can't stop the fleet. What gives you the right? And so this is where Kirk and Core come together and agree, and they're like, "Hey, you can't do this to us.
You
You're
can't just
disrespecting her.
You can't just
That's not
interfere
fair.
like with a whole nother.
The
culture. You
right
can't
to commit
interfere.
war.
Yeah. So unless both sides agree to immediate cessation of hostilities, all your armed forces, wherever they may be, will be immediately immobilized. And Kirk says we have legitimate grievances against the Klingons. They've invaded our territory, killed our citizens. They're openly aggressive. They boasted that they'll take over half the galaxy.
And why not?
We're stronger. So here you go. Here, I'll put it here. Go ahead, Scotty.
All right. And why not? We're the stronger. You've tried to hem us in, cut off supplies, strangle our trade. You've been asking for war.
And Aelborn says, it's no trick, Commander. We've simply put an end to your war. All your military forces, wherever they are now completely paralyzed. But Claymore tries to temper it, saying we find interference in other people's affairs most disgusting. But you gentlemen have given us no choice. And Kirk says, you should be the first on our side. 200 hostages killed. And so that's when we learn that no one's been killed, that they're not even corporeal beings.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, so there are proper channels.
Yeah, exactly. If you'll fill out the paperwork.
We'll get back to you in 16 weeks.
Yeah, no, seriously. We did have a lot of contracts going out for this war. So, no, the war is going to be, oh, wait, you're non-corporeal light beings. Never mind. Hang on.
Yeah, even if you have some power that we don't understand, you have no right to dictate to our Federation. And of course,
or our empire.
Thank you. How to handle their interstellar relations, we have the right.
The right to commit war, Captain. Is that what you're arguing for?
To kill millions of innocent people, to destroy life on a planetary scale. Is that what you're defending?
Oh,
exactly.
Well,
and you know what? This is when I consider the philosophy of Star Trek. This is it.
Well, but Kirk says, well, no one wants war.
Yeah, he fucking lawyers himself. Well, no
people
one
have a right to
wants
handle
war.
their own affairs. Eventually, we will have, and that's where we get the prediction from the Organians that eventually Klingons and humans will be peaceful to each other in the future, and not just be peaceful, but become friends. And this is what actually happens in the Star Trek universe. So it's really amazing.
Yep. Aspire. This is the aspiration.
So, but we learn how they're light beings millions of years ago. Captain, we are humanoid like yourself, but we have developed beyond the needs of physical bodies. That of us, which you see, is mere appearance for your sake. So they turn into these light beings, which Spock calls pure energy, pure thought, totally incorporeal.
I think
Not
this is the
life
first
as we
time.
know it at all.
I think this is the
Yes.
first time that I heard the phrase non-corporeal or incorporeal. I didn't know what corporeal meant until I saw this episode of Star Trek.
Hey, nice.
Well,
It's
it's
always
nice
good
to learn new vocabulary instead of just having swear words, right? Or no, how do you say it?
Exactly.
Fucking right.
Just swearing on the holodeck randomly. Yeah. So
Well,
Kirk
a
says,
double dumbass on you.
"Hey, well, the swearing in Star Trek 4 is different because they're not used to it, and they're trying to learn the language of 1980s."
True. Jacqueline Suzanne.
And Kirk says, "I guess that takes care care of the war. The Arganians are not going to let us fight." And Kor says,
Would have been glorious.
"Yes, a shame, Captain. It would have been glorious." And
Vegetable. See, and here's the big thing about Klingons that I really enjoy is that vegetable is best pronounced by a Klingon. Garbage is best pronounced by a Klingon. And so there is a valid argument to be made that you haven't heard Shakespeare until it was pronounced in the original Klingon.
And one day somebody actually did do that. They actually did translate some of Shakespeare into Klingon.
Yes. A lot of guttural sounds. I'd like to see the Klingon version of Romeo and Juliet.
You need to step away for a second.
Okay, why not? Either way, we do get back to the Enterprise, and basically Kirk is like, let's be fair. This episode is, we've declared war on the Klingons. We're going to this planet because it's going to be strategic. Both of us want it, and that's why the war has started. Yes?
Yeah. Big
Okay.
picture. Big picture is what they're focused on.
So then the planet, which does not want anything to do with this war, is like, we're just going to stop the war. And that is the Organian peace treaty.
Mm-hmm.
It is forced upon both the Federation and the Klingon Empire by the Organians.
Yes.
And that is something that they just adhere to.
Yeah, I mean, they even reference it in Trouble with Triples, don't they? I mean, even,
Yeah.
And this is not a show with a ton of internal continuity. But yeah, they remembered that.
Yeah.
That is good. I'm glad that they remembered. They do have a little bit of continuity, even if
But
it is much at this point.
Does that mean that whenever the Klingons and the Federation are going to fight, does that mean that the Organians make everything super hot?
Or does it only apply when the Federation and the Klingons go to war with each other? Or if they go to war with other species?
Or is it called the Organian Peace Treaty because this incident sort of brought the Klingon and Federation diplomats together? We know that there are Klingon diplomats.
Yes,
And
there are Klingon diplomats, scientists, and they have all the different things that
they have
Federation
doctors
has.
and everything, yo.
I like that idea that they just call it the Organian Peace Treaty, not because the assumption is it has to be enforced by some pure energy or race of beings, but they just named it that because they came up with it as a result of this adventure.
And I like that too because, as Gorilla says, they sure don't try to interfere later in any capacity. So it's clear that they just want to be left alone and pretend to be a medieval civilization and send out readings that they're just some kind of backwards planet. But they're able to take care of themselves, and as long as you don't mess with them, they're not going to mess with you. But
So
We
does-
just want to
and this-
live in a Renaissance fair. Leave us
So are-
alone.
So are the
Yeah.
Organians similar to the Metrons?
No, okay. I think that the Metrons are more advanced in terms of their evolution than the Organians, because the Metrons, they seem very hands off, but the Organians, they still want a planet to be able to hang out.
Well, that's true.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
if this is, I mean, and the where this falls apart is that there would be no threat of an actual war in Star Trek VI if the saboteurs or the conspirators had their way. You feel like, well, if this peace treaty was still in effect and it was backed by these super powerful pink blobs, then that would never have taken place because there would have been no point to the conspiracy. But the needs of the script outweigh the needs of consistency.
right.
Which, yeah,
But I like the idea that the Organians just don't want to bother with us. We give
Yeah.
them a headache. And Spock
and I,
said,
yeah.
Captain, it took millions of years for the Organians to evolve into what they are. Even the gods did not spring into being overnight. You and I have no reason to be embarrassed. We did, after all, beat the odds. And Kirk says,
No, we didn't beat the odds. The
Here, I'll bring it.
Organians, they stacked the deck against us.
The Organians raided the game.
Rated the game. Fair enough. I was paraphrasing.
But no, it was a good paraphrase. And I give this episode an A because it gives me lots to think about without telling me what to think. It's doing what you have. So from the Federation side, it's doing what you have to do within reason to defend your freedoms when diplomacy is failing with the Klingons. So the peace that the Federation has doesn't come free, and this is why I get frustrated with Deep Space Nine, the Mirror episodes, when they have Mirror Spock lose the Terran Empire because he wanted to be more peaceful. Being peaceful doesn't mean rolling over and becoming a pacifist and getting rid of weaponry. Achieving peace requires a good defense against those who would disturb it, and that's what Starfleet provides for the Federation.
Okay,
planets.
here,
I think it's lovely. And it's great.
Okay, but also I would like to say that in the Mirror universe, diplomacy is weakness.
Well, yeah, but
So
the way they messed up there is having Spock get rid of weapons, and that's not the way to peace.
That happened in DS9 with Spock.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, they kind of messed up Mirror Spock in Deep Space Nine, and I don't like it. And
Was it off screen or they showed them
No,
away?
it was
or-
off screen.
It was off screen, but they talked
Oh,
about
okay. Gotcha.
it, and it's pretty terrible what they did. So, like, probably my least favorite part of Deep Space Nine is the Mirror Universe episodes, and
But okay, but I would like to remind you that the Mirror universe is supposed to be awful.
it's true. This is true. But
So if it's
the
if it's
episodes are supposed to be
disturbing,
awful.
then I don't like what happened in the Mirror universe. You're not supposed to.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to read from Paula's book because I didn't have time to put it into the into my review, into my notes. So I'm going to read them now. I'm going to read them now, and then you guys can rate the episodes, and we can read some of the chat.
Hey, did you guys ever like and subscribe? You should like and subscribe
Oh yeah, definitely. Please do.
to
But I'm
the
going
channel you're watching right now. Not any of us Chuckle Monkeys.
No, you can no
To Jill. You should subscribe to Jill.
subscribe to me and also to the Chuckle Monkeys.
All the Chuckle Monkeys.
So, in Star Trek 365 by Pauline Block, page 139, it says, there's an exchange between Core and Kirk. You, the Federation, you are much like us. And Kirk says, we're nothing like you. We're a democratic body. And Kor says, I'm not referring to minor ideological differences. I mean that we are similar as a species. Here we are on a planet of sheep, 2 tigers, predators, hunters, killers. And it is precisely that which makes us great. And there's a universe to be taken. So, considering the Klingon species' eventual importance within the Star Trek pantheon of characters, Errand of Mercy is a curiously gentle episode to have introduced the warrior species. Although Klingons live for battle, the closest Kor gets to it is his verbal sparring with Kirk. When a violent confrontation doesn't ensue, Kor laments, "It would have been glorious."
There is a moment where he picks up a dagger off a desk, but it's too hot to handle.
Yeah. Wow. One suspects that Kirk feels the same. However glorious it may have been, the episode really isn't about war. It's about the tensions that lead up to war. By the end of its first season, Star Trek was coming into its own, taking 20th century subjects and stealthily transforming them into future tense. It was message television, if you knew how to decode it. In writer Gene Kuhn's hands, the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union became the standoff between the Federation and the Klingons. Or, on more intimate terms, the one between Kirk and Kor. But, as the Organians predicted, the Federation and its Klingon counterpart would eventually become fast friends and work together. Again, a bit of accurate foresight from the Star Trek writers. The Cold War would end, and the Soviets would allow the Berlin Wall to fall. Rather than fade into the background, the warrior race of the Klingons would grow in popularity, gaining even more fans as the aggressive allies of the Federation than they had as its enemies. Vulcans notwithstanding, today they are Star Trek franchise's most popular alien species.
Yeah, I think Klingons are.
Yeah, that I think
No, they don't
that's
say that.
fair. I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
don't say that in front of Bird.
And say what?
The Vulcans are the most favorite.
No,
Bird
I was
always-
saying Klingons.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
you certainly see more people dressed up as Klingons than you do as Vulcans, and kind of. Although it's just more interesting cosplay too, I
Conventions.
suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ears are easier.
Yes.
So, John Abbott played Ale Bourne.
Hello, gentlemen.
Then
He's like the Alfred of this episode.
John Colicos plays Kor.
Yes. You'll know him best from Battlestar Galactica
Yeah.
and Star Trek, which is not a bad resume.
No. Pretty great. And so there's a couple more from the book that I'll read here since I missed it earlier.
Yes,
The
yes.
real stars of Errand of Mercy are the Organians, calmly smiling through what appears to be an escalating crisis in their own backyard. But isn't this the flashpoint for a heated interstellar war? Well, no, because the Organians have the ability to douse that flame at any point they wish. A staunch believer in free will, Kirk is amused to learn that what he had thought was a battle of wits was nothing of the sort. We didn't beat the odds, he tells Spock. The Organians raided the game. Although their name would be woven into the fabric of Star Trek continuity, the Organians would not become Star Trek regulars. Having an omnipotent species around to take care of complex problems would not be good.
Omnipotent.
Having an omnipotent. No,
Omnipotent.
omnipotent.
Yeah, omnipotent is funny. It's okay.
No, I like
Is that
it. No,
like
I just
duplicious?
I wanted to duplicate speciality. No, I'm sorry. I like the pronunciation of omnipotent, but it is more commonly pronounced omnipotent.
Having an omnipotent species around to take care of complex problems would not be good for ongoing storylines. Jeopardy, after all, is the engine that drives drama, and with the Organians standing in the wings, there would be no jeopardy. Still, the threat of their intervention would play an important role in keeping the peace between the Federation and the Klingons. The Organian Peace Treaty. Note the similarity to the so-called Nuclear Peace Treaty. That was much
Nuclear.
nuclear. I always say nuclear, but I feel like it's just heard.
No, that time, like you told me
Nuclear.
before, you were like, "Do I say nuclear?" And I was like, "No, you don't." But that time you did.
Whatever.
Moving on.
Okay, so that was much in the news during the late 1960s, would be referred to in later episodes, The Trouble with Tribbles and Day of the Dove, and again in the motion pictures Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And then the last page says here, etymology often consists of fun little stories about people. Famous examples are 19th century temperance advocate Amelia Bloomer, promoted women's rights to wear pants. The 18th century Earl of Sandwich asked his servant to bring him a slab of meat tucked between two pieces of bread. In 19th century plumber Thomas Crapper developed ways to improve washroom facilities. I have no idea why this is in this book. Hold on.
Yeah, but Thomas Crapper, you say? Is it the Dropper Clapper?
Oh my god. These names spontaneously became commonly used nouns, but when a name falls under the pen of a writer, it can take on a new meaning by design. For instance, when the screenwriter Gene L. Kuhn created a villainous new species for the episode Errand of Mercy, a name for the blackguards didn't immediately come to mind until that of an old acquaintance of Gene Roddenberry came into earshot.
Here we go.
Roddenberry, who had been a proud member of the Los Angeles Police Department, served with an officer named Wilbur Klingon. The production staff liked the sound of the name, so Kuhn altered the spelling and used it in this episode.
Nice.
I had to step away to cough for a minute.
Oh no, fair enough. Robitussin is what I'm saying. Not sponsored by Robitussin. Oh, and we lost somebody.
Hello, Scogli.
Bye, Tall. Oh wait, Tall maybe returned.
Yeah, sorry, my finger slipped. Yeah, so I guess that is not an apocryphal story after all, or maybe that's just where I heard it from. But Jill, my dilithium crystals on my phone are giving out here, so I'm probably going to have to sign off. Can I share some final thoughts? Or
Yes, please do. Give us your rating and your final thoughts on the episode. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh no, thank you for letting me barge in. Yeah, no, I really like this episode. I think the performances are very good. I think it's interesting world building, and I like that in a lot of these Gene L. Kuhn episodes, and you probably talked about it in Arena, that they show that Captain Kirk is someone who's willing to learn. He has an initial take on a situation, but he's willing to admit when he's wrong and kind of grow. And I like that about him a lot. So I think it's a very good episode for him, and just the acting is
well,
very
and
entertaining.
Starfleet building.
Yeah,
definitely, because Starfleet is sort of forced into this aggression, but then when this way of peace comes by, Kirk has to concede that is a better way if it's going to just happen.
Yeah.
Well, so out of how many targs do you give this episode? How many Klingon targs?
Before I give you that answer, I'd like to know what a targ is.
A targ is like a Klingon dog. It's like a Vulcan sea lat.
That's what that thing is.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a pig.
It's like a boar.
That's the thing in Star Trek 3?
Yes.
Crew chest. That's a targ. Okay.
Yes.
That's a targ. That's a Klingon targ.
It was named after one of Roddenberry's other superior officers. Freddie Targ, the LAPD. Okay. Well,
what do you got for me, Targ? We gotta go solve crimes today, Targ.
I guess I'll give it. It doesn't have McCoy in it, so that brings it down a tiny bit for me. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice. Great review.
With that, I will bid you folks adieu and engage Cloak here. Hope we can do it again sometime.
Yes,
Take care,
definitely.
sir.
Okay,
Good to
bye-bye.
see you.
And I'd like you to review next Pop Culture Curator, because if you'd like to go talk to Bird of Prey 5, I do have a lot of chat to catch up with. So you can, because I know that Bird is gonna have to leave at like 4:00, so Central Time. So he's only streaming his membership stream for an hour. So if anybody wants to talk to him, he just got an hour. So
Okay. I loved it. I give it an A.
mhm.
I like like you guys were saying, the world building, and once again we found out that it's another episode where we don't have a straight up antagonist,
Right.
and peace eventually wins in the end. They didn't have to have a war. You know, sometimes it's exciting to see wars and shoot them up on the screen, but the way they handled it, I thought was well done. And it didn't seem to choose a political side. It was neutral. It just didn't want war on either side. And I wish that the world was really like that. Is all. But,
Me
yeah,
too.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I agree. And if you would like to go talk to Bird of Prey 5, you can.
Did he
And
start already?
yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Actually, I'll go check.
I haven't checked to see if I got my alerts.
Yes, he started.
8 minutes ago. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Take
You're
care,
welcome.
everybody.
Yeah, go have fun.
Peace
You
out.
did
I'll
a
see
great
you.
job.
Which episode next week?
Next week is, oh my God, the city
Yeah,
on the
I'm
edge of
curious.
forever.
Oh my
Oh, it's
goodness.
a big one.
Yeah, we better plan on time for that one. That'll be great. I can't wait.
Yes, we will. We'll be on time next week. Well, we have to.
Oh, it's spring break. Have a party.
Yeah, this week is spring break, so I'm gonna party on Friday too.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, this is going to be a
Nice.
great week. We got a UFO on Friday.
Mhm.
Well, I have
Yeah,
to work.
you
You
go on
guys enjoy
Friday.
yourselves.
And random topics. Yes, you too. You enjoy yourself. That's what we're here for.
Bye bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And hello and goodbye to everybody in the chat. It was so good to see you all.
Yeah, it was great to see. Yeah, great. All right. So, and Scotty, we're down to your review. What is your review of Errand of Mercy, our first meeting with the Klingons?
It's a B.
Mhm. And
I really, this is another episode where I don't understand what the Federation is attempting to accomplish.
well, they're both militaries. The
Yeah.
Federation, the Starfleet is the Gene Roddenberry's envisioning
Science
of-
military.
yeah, it's his projection of what the military should be in the future.
Okay, and I accept that, and that's why I love Starfleet.
Mhm.
But this is another situation where they are like interceding in a world that doesn't want them.
Yeah, it's true. Both the Federation and the Klingons view Organia as a resource, and they would both like to
Yes.
control it if they could.
Yes.
But the only difference being is that the Federation says, "Oh, but it's your choice if you want us to control
Right.
you."
Yeah.
And the Klingons don't give that choice.
And
Like-
also, like, let's be
Uh-huh.
fair. The Klingons show up and they start killing 200s of people.
Yeah.
So, or at least they think they are. But yeah, no, but it's like in terms of the galactic power, it's obviously an allegory for the Cold War and the United States and Russia. And I enjoy
Yes.
it for what it is. But when people start talking about the dystopia of Starfleet in the modern Star Trek, I'm like, well, it's always been, they do what they want, but we're on their side because we're human.
Well, no, it's completely different. The dystopia in the future of Star Trek is not just it's not just defense of the utopia. It's because it's a dystopia. It's internal conflict, and it's everybody becoming Section 31 and going against each other.
Well, like, I think
And
you and I both agree that
enslaving
Section 31
fucking-
sucks.
Robots.
Like, I don't like the introduction of Section 31 into the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, me neither. But
Yeah.
the film just amplifies it and says it's
They
everywhere.
love that shit for some
They
reason.
do. So it is. I think it's a very different thing. The violence happens because they kind of don't have a
They
choice.
want it. No, Kirk actively engages in a war as soon as he is told that there is one.
Well, that's because no, he doesn't engage in war because he wants to. It's because
No, but
the Klingons attack the ship.
I didn't say that he wanted to. I said that when his orders came down, and it's like, you are dealing with this situation like it's a war, and he
But-
was like, okay,
Yes.
that's my job.
You're dealing with the situation as if the Klingons are about to start a war. So
Yeah.
so be on your toes for that, because there's this planet here with this primitive culture that needs your help. And so it's also kind of a errand of mercy.
Well,
but it turns out not to be.
the errand of mercy is what Airborne does.
Mhm. Yes, and in the end, that is exactly what happens, and the tables get flipped, and Kirk is shown, no, you're nothing. I'm awesome, and so, but
The right
But
to
the
commit
intention-
murder.
Starfleet intends goodness. There's an
Well,
intention of
the only,
peace.
you know what, in terms of the advocates of Starfleet and the Federation in this episode, I would say that they are offering protection to the Organians.
A voluntary protection.
But
Yes.
they also want that planet
Yes.
for
I will agree.
strategic purposes.
Yes, there's that element of colonialism, definitely.
Yes. And so it isn't necessarily
not
100% altruistic.
But that's not necessarily sinister. I mean,
No. Well, isn't it?
No, it's not, because the Federation planets, right now they don't have replicators. They have to
Right.
figure out how to procure resources, and by offering their services to other planets, they can trade and do stuff more easily.
They can trade in Kivas and Fajo.
And they could even just provide offhand,
Trillium.
Military support, but not even step foot on the planet if the planet doesn't want them to.
But this is
and
the
just
same
have a trade agreement.
This is the same complaint I have with this side of paradise, is that the Enterprise shows up and they're like, we're good. And the Enterprise is like, no, you're not. We're changing it. And they do the same thing on Organia. They show up and it's like, Organians we're good. And Kirk is there being like, no, you're not.
See, the problem is that at this point, the Federation has no idea what's happening on the planet. That's why it's up to Captain Kirk to go down and figure out what's going on and evaluate the situation, realize the Organians are actually godlike beings who don't really need our help. And so it takes a whole episode for that to happen. And so it's a case by case.
Do you think the Organians could possibly be the wormhole prophets?
No.
Do you see, I know it's sort of I'm doing a weird fan connection.
Yes.
Like I'm making my own idea. But do you see a similarity between the prophets and the Organians?
Well, they do see the future. They are able to tell that the Klingons are eventually going to be friends with the Federation. So
right.
There's the element of knowing past, present, future.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
It's kind of like looking. Well, no, and here's an equivalent that I would submit is that I would say it's kind of like Trelane being a Q. And it's like, are the Organians the prophets? That would be cool.
That would be cool, but I don't know.
Anyway, just speculation.
No, you know what? I don't think so, because the Organians kind of just want to stay out of it, and they just want to pretend to be corporeal and have their little planet and stuff and just pretend they're primitive. And the prophets are actually very, very intrusive upon corporeal life. They want to control them and
The
manipulate their
prophets aren't.
future.
I didn't think the prophets
Yeah,
were
no, they kind of
controlling.
do. Well, yeah, they are. They
guess
set up
no.
the existence of Cisco to
Yeah,
play out the
like
events of
their
what happens in
thing.
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they do this kind of thing. They're like, no, don't marry that lady. You cannot marry Jennifer. Or wait,
Cassidy.
Cassidy. Jennifer was the first wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I think the prophets are way different because they're way more involved.
Yeah, they're manipulative.
Hmm.
And the Organians, they're standalone. They're basically just a bunch of hippies.
Yes, they're godlike
All
hippies.
powerful hippies.
Definitely. Well, they're very nice in this episode. Like, hey, stop fighting, guys, and they did.
Yeah, and I think that the heroes of this episode are like, and that's why Dr. McCoy wasn't in this episode, is because he would have been like, hey guys, listen to the Organians.
Yeah, right. And the Organians play their hand at a certain point, and Kirk is still, I guess, a bit meat-headed about it, and still thinks that things are not good, and he needs to protect the Organians until he realizes he doesn't have to.
Mhm.
And so the pacifism of the Organians provides a foil to the military attitudes of the Federation and the Klingons, who come together in the end and say, we have the right to fight if we
You have the right to wage war,
want.
the killing of millions.
But
On
I
a
get that
planetary
perspective
scale.
too,
Is that
because
what you're defending, Captain?
because they want to be able to exist of their own accord. They don't want to have these godlike beings telling them what they can and can't do, and or dictating their beings. So that would be another way of losing
There's
freedom.
always a bigger fish.
True.
I don't know. I like this episode, but I like this episode because of the Organians. When I watched it previously, I had always been a fan of either Starfleet or the Klingons. I have never watched this episode through the perspective of the Organians, and I am on an Organian side.
Well, they have a power beyond both of the
Exactly. And they don't flex. They do not flex until it's like, all right, we're done.
We
This is
have
over. You guys are gonna kill a lot of people, and it's uncomfortable for us.
Yeah, we have to put a stop to this tantrum.
Yes. Shut this tantrum down. Happiness pie.
No, I don't see it. I don't see a problem with Starfleet. Anyway,
I know you don't. Yeah, I know you do.
Wrinkle Walker says to Captain Infinity, I keep an eye out for it. I keep missing your streams though. Baldric from Blackadder, says Cardinalson. Oh man, I don't know what that was about.
No, Baldric is what you call the sash that Worf and Kur wear.
Oh, that. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Stream Elements wants us to remember the Comic Relief Crusader. And even though he's not here, I do want to mention that because, or unless he is here and I haven't noticed yet, but he usually has a Tuesday show. So tonight, check that out if you want. Titillating Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's titillating.
And someone who is here got their link posted by the Stream Elements bot. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Check him out.
Yes.
And Captain Infinity wants you to check your DMs.
Oh, shit.
And Cardinalson says Kapla to Bird of Prey 5. And Sean Carter says he's still recovering from staying up so late on Saturday, but it was worth it. Thank you. Oh man, you know what? I should have checked the chat earlier while Bird of Prey 5 was still here, in case anybody wanted to say something to him, but I missed out on doing that. Captain Infinity says, thanks to Scotty and the Phantasmagorian, Picard has reframed the entire Blade Runner Deckard debate and added a new chapter. Because now apparently nobody cares if you're a soulless skin job. Well, I don't know that he's not soulless, but he just doesn't have the original soul.
Jill, it's a whole conversation about filth that you don't want to get into
I don't
right
want
now.
to, but we got into it a little bit earlier anyway.
Well, no, but like if the captain's argument is valid, then that means that no, there is no soul.
And yeah.
So.
Lemon Pie says, also known as a mind ripper, a case of PBR.
James Caserta thinks I sound drunk.
No. He's just
No, he does.
Drunk.
He said so in the chat.
You don't sound drunk.
Really? Thank you.
Are you?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know anymore. Okay, the Comic Relief Crusader says, hi, anti-derivative Jill and all, lurking while working. Huh? What the frack have I done now, says Captain Infinity. I don't know. What have you done? You tell me. Captain, you messed up the Cabbage Patch. Sean Carter says, half of my favorite moments of this episode is when Kor realizes...
No, wait, if I could stop you. I think that Sean is saying one of two.
Oh. Yeah, he is saying one of two. One of my favorite moments of this episode is when Kor realizes who Kirk is. John Colicos manages to express both excitement and just a hint of respectful fear in his reaction. The way his voice rises, his eyes get large, all while backing away from Kirk, really sold it for me. Yes, the performance of John is incredible in this episode. Really makes the whole thing. He is quoting in the context of the episode to Captain Kirk. It says Lemon Pie, and Edge of Time says the Organians read the 48 Laws of Power. And Edge of Time says, paint my bubble wrap. BB, he got his bubble wrap. Oh, right. The bubble wrap on his
I was
costume.
Actually, yeah. I really enjoyed the costuming of the episode as well. Like from the and those are the Klingon uniforms that will be employed throughout this series.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see a Klingon, they're wearing that shirt.
Yeah. I've got to blow my nose for a moment.
Okay, well, I can't wait. That's going to be great. But again, it's just such a weird situation to watch this through the perspective of being allied with Klingons. So but also it does speak to the popularity of the Klingons as an adversary.
Yeah, an adversary.
That's it.
Ha! Okay, that's what that feels like. Edge Time says, friend computer knows you are a mutant. Tommy Spy. What? Oh, and Frankel Walker's mom loves Gowron.
Indeed.
Gowron calling you glory, calling you to honor. And the Stream Melon Spot wants you to remember to subscribe to Bird of Prey 5.
He's doing a thing right now.
He's doing a thing, a membership stream. I sent half of my listeners over there. It was great.
Is that where they went?
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. I hope if they left here that they went there. Shaka, the walls fell. Am I right? And Max Redstone says, Kitio, his eyes closed. Chenza at court, the court of silence. Chenza. And if, I don't know what that is. Something cool that I don't know. Scotty, his PBR drained. That was last night. Max Redstone says, sadly, Merritt Arbatrick passed away in 1989 from AIDS related to complications. Who's Merritt? Who is that?
David Marcus.
Oh.
Captain Kirk's son. Yeah, he was also in the episode of Next Generation Symbiosis.
Oh, neat. Tony says, "Did you know the like button bends the dilithium overload? Let's help Jill get to warp factor 9." Oh yeah, thank you.
Well, how many subscribers do you need to get to 1,000? You know, it's like
600.
639.
Yeah, 639 because I already have the 4,000 watch hours I need, so I'm doing good on watch hours.
Yes. Well, people watch your show, which is great.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And
Go
Skogly
Glee.
says the name dropped Farpoint at least twice in the episode, so I think they're a redesign and they're babies too. Yeah, definitely. No doubt. And subscribe to Mark D with C. Subscribe to Captain Infinity. The stream element spot is crazy. It's just posting links like crazy. I love it. Rancor Steve says, "Love what you're doing, Anti-Derivative Joe." Thank you.
I'm not a fan.
Well, I love hearing what you do when you're on Pop Culture Breakdown. It's great stuff. And you got your own channel too.
Oh
with
no,
your-
I wasn't
with your-
talking about Steve. I was talking about you, Jill. I'm not a fan. I don't
You're
like
not a
you.
fan? You
No,
don't like me? Well, I
never.
don't like you either, but I can't figure out how to get rid of you.
I know, same deal.
And also make sure to check out R.M. Briggs on Patreon. She's got her science fiction book and everything. And Captain Infinity says bitter enemies can become strong allies. Probably a lesson in there somewhere. Yes.
I don't know. I want to see a CGI Captain Kirk with a batleth. I want to know that Captain Kirk can work a batleth.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
And too bad he didn't survive into the Batleth days.
Well, no, but I'm like I've seen him use an on wound.
Yeah,
He knows
great.
Vulcan weapons.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll
I
see that.
would like.
We'll see that at the start of season 2.
Maybe if they made a video game.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Franco Walker says to Captain Infinity, "Only while it suits them both, though." Oh, right. Where bitter enemies can work together. Yes. They can be strong allies. Yeah. Oh, good. Perfect timing for my live stream on the hour. Okay. I'm going to send away more people away from my live stream. Great,
Yeah.
Great idea.
But okay, so here's a weird thing. Here's an idea.
Yes.
Now, again, I think that this is a great episode for encapsulating the future, the hope, the optimism, the reconciliation of Star Trek. Do you think that there is a day in the future where you will look forward to new Star Trek?
Sure. As soon as Secret Hideout is gone.
Yes, but do you think that maybe your perception of Secret Hideout is kind of like the Federation's perception of the Klingon Empire in this time period? What if they do start making more good Star Trek?
Like as if Kurtzman suddenly becomes a Star Trek fan and says, "Oh shit, I've been doing this wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna watch all of it and I'm gonna start respecting the fandom and yeah, like if he publicly apologized and said, "I totally fucked up for the last 5 years. I'm gonna try again." And
well, that's not gonna happen.
So it's not gonna happen. No, then no. The last 5 years never happened. It was a holodeck mistake.
But if
then yes.
Okay,
But it's
what
not
if Alex Kurtzman just starts paying bills and stops talking about Star Trek, and then
that's another way he can do it is
he just shuts up and goes away.
If he goes away and goes off to do,
you're still going to see his credit.
Yeah, I'm still going to see his credit. Yeah, right. And that, yeah,
But
well,
he's not going to talk about Star Trek anymore. And then
there's
you get
possibility
someone,
then.
and I know you're not a big fan of Terry Metalis, which is cool. It's your
No,
prerogative.
I'm not.
I don't even know the boy.
The problem is, I think the whole thing is corrupted.
Okay. But do you think that there is a possibility of better Star Trek in the future?
If you get some real science fiction authors and screenwriters and
Fair enough. Agreed.
some of the old guard, some of even
You-
the assholes like Ira Stephen Bear, he could make some good Star Trek. And
I can't believe you swore.
well, because I'll tell you, when even real Star Trek has people who are not so great, but they make great Star Trek, so they need to come and do that. Ronald D. Moore and everybody.
And there is a lot of good Star Trek out there, even if it's not Star Trek. Like, again, when you're arguing against the filth, I really want to get into For All Mankind.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I want to.
So-
Well, actually, that is a good point, because after we finish completing reviews for all of the original series, we're going to review For All Mankind, because Ronald D. Moore says that it's essentially his idea of a prequel for Star Trek. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed that I can't get like a Blu-ray of it though.
Oh, you can't? That doesn't exist?
I haven't looked it up recently, but I don't think it exists.
It probably doesn't, because streaming services Apple wants you to stream.
Right.
So Mr. CCDV says, I had a belly light back in the day. I'm not a big fan. Oh, I guess he's talking about when the Organians were shifting into their pretend corporeal forms.
No.
Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Dad Man Walking. He's a cool dude. CCDV says, I still choose to believe that I am not corporeal.
Well, you are, unfortunately. I hate to break it.
Yeah, but he's in denial of it.
But he is. Pinch yourself.
Tony says, the zenith of evolution. The life form becomes infallible, eternal, and pure energy. Oops. Romeo and Juliet. Ha! Nothing compared to Arctung and Melota. So some Klingon opera coming into play here.
Yeah.
Tony says, well, everyone, it's about time for me to punch in. Sending love to all. Oh, I should have noticed that when it happened. That happened
Tony.
So long ago.
Tony, next time you have to give me a lap dance.
Why does he owe you a lap dance?
Because I said so.
Oh.
Is that unreasonable?
I don't know, but you know what? You can ask him again on Sunday when he has his party.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to show up uninvited.
Yes, that's the idea. Mr. CCDV says, I was guttural once. I'm hoping to have my voice back Friday for karaoke. And everybody's saying goodbye to Stark of Iron, even though I should have done that. But I was busy with my episode.
I don't even know. This is a weird, like, we've spun off past your usual leaving time.
Yeah, is this weird for you? Do you want to stop?
No, I want to keep going. Keep going
Okay.
with the chat.
It is. It feels weird to me too, because I'm continuing.
But I'm having a good time.
I have extra time today. It's spring break.
It is.
So the Organians are out assholed by the Federation and the Klingons, which is a masterstroke, says Max Redstone. Agreed. And CCTV says, now I'm looking forward to Sunday, provided I'm awake and aware that day.
Yeah,
And
me too.
Tony says the Organian name is ironic given their beams of light. Right. They're not
I don't know
organic
the
after all.
Oh. Like, as a play on organic?
I think so. That's my guess.
All right.
Max Redstone says the Organians seem like a splinter faction of the Q, which would explain why they don't really help any further after this point because the Q don't bother with corporeal life except for Q himself, who is in love with Picard or something.
Oh no.
No, not in love, like in love, but like he's fascinated with humanity and wants to learn more about it.
Like, part of the reason why I enjoy the character of Jean-Luc Picard is because Q is intrigued by
Yes.
him.
Yes, he doesn't understand humanity and he wants to learn.
Well, and even in All Good Things, he makes the mention, and it's like these pedantic conversations about, I don't know why I'm British as Q, but these
Yeah.
pedantic conversations about Riker's career or Data's witless pursuit of humanity. Like,
Yeah.
I just
But I love when Q becomes human and Data says, "You've achieved and disgraced what I've aspired to become."
yes.
That's a good bird.
But that's the episode that humanizes Q, for lack
It
of a
does.
better term.
Literally.
Yeah. So
Yes. He's forced to get to our level and deal with reality the way that we do.
but
Instead of being
that's
manipulated.
but that's what I think about the Organians. And here's the thing that's
Ooh.
weird about the Organians is that they want a planet
Yes.
and they just want to exist
Mhm.
in a corporeal state. They have no interest in manipulating anything. It's just like, please be quiet.
Right. Yeah. They just want a space. They just want their own space.
Leave us alone. We like AM radio.
Yeah, we're just phasing into your existence to pick up the radio stations.
We just enjoy
That
the
makes sense.
taste of berries.
Mm-hmm. No, I wonder if that's it. They just want to eat and experience all the fun stuff in corporeal life without any of the
Well,
death.
but that's exactly what I'm getting from the Organian culture, is that they are totally, they're like, will you please just let us be corporeal?
Mm-hmm.
We just want to we just want to drink the wine.
Yeah, we just want to drink the wine. We don't want to deal with all of this violence. That's not nice. That's icky.
It harshes our mellow.
Yeah, I agree. The Comic Relief Crusader says, just getting ready for another titillating Tuesday on my channel at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And CCDV says, wait, today's Tuesday? Yeah, nobody remembered that time that I thought it was Friday on a Tuesday. Edge of Time says, the old work and lurk.
I do have bad news.
Uh-oh.
I have to do something.
Oh, okay. You've got to. What do you?
If I may excuse myself for one moment.
You may. I have the chat. I have lots of chat. I'll see you in a minute. So, Edge of Time says, hail Discordia. Discordia, all hail. And my stream elements want you to subscribe to Donnie Pearson. He may not be here now, but he's a frequenter of my chat, and he's a great artist and musician. Edge of Time says Skogley does the work and lurk better. And yeah, working and lurking, listening to live streams about Errand of Mercy, meeting the Klingons for the first time. It's wonderful. Skogley says it's like a cross between a warthog and a dog. And so now we're talking about the Targs. And I I found out Mark D with a C has this action figure of Gowron. Doesn't look like Gowron at all, but it comes with this little golden Targ. So I want to buy Gowron just so I can have the Targ because I like Targs. But really, I would like a stuffed animal of a Targ. But I don't know. I don't ever see them anywhere. Franco Walker says, and then there were 3. But now there's 2, actually. But when he posted it, there were 3. James Caserta says the quote, "It would have been glorious." Edge of Time says, "We're just going to ignore the fact that someone dusted that goat green." Oh, yeah, I did ignore that. I did see the weirdly colored goats, but I did completely ignore it. Thank you, Edge of Time. Yeah. Well, you're on an alien planet. The goat's going to be a little green. I don't know. Cardinal Sin says, "This is the episode where pure energy was sampled by the Information Society." And this is where I let Pop Culture Curator go talk to Bird of Prey 5 and possibly quite a few of my chat. And James Caserta says, "Be nice to Targs." Edge Time says, "No." And hello and goodbye, says James Caserta. Only 2 left. Yeah, now there are only 2 left. And actually 1 right now because Scotty has stepped away.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here now. Hey. Oh, and Franco Walker also gave it a B. And I'm not mad about a B. B's fair enough.
Oh, it's a good grade. Like I enjoy it, but it's just so strange to look at Klingons from their first appearance based on what I've learned about Klingons.
It is. Max Redstone says, "There's Klingons." Oh, there's
Yes.
Klingons off the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons off the starboard bow, starboard bow, Jim.
Amusing. Skogly's here. And Franco Walker has to go. He had to go. That was about 30 minutes ago. Bye.
Goodbye. If you come back to listen to the replay, I hope you had a great day.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone, and much love to you all.
I wonder what he's
Scotty,
doing
you're supposed to be
now.
looking at the chat for when people go away.
I just got back, Jill. I was Jilloging.
No, I know, but earlier when they actually leave.
I'm sorry. I was having too much fun talking to you.
No, I know, that's right. You're not supposed to do anything but have fun talking to me.
That's what my plan was.
You did perfect.
Great.
I take it back.
Don't take it back. You should. Don't have so much fun with me. All right.
Stop having fun with me. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even like you.
Yeah, you don't.
We've never got along, ladies and gentlemen.
James Caserta says Scotty sounds drunk.
I do.
D. Oberg says, "This is why I love the show. Scotty comes up with some great ideas to ponder on." Absolutely, he does. And he's very challenging, and I like that too. Mr. Brown Alliance, subscribe to him. He's cool.
He is great.
And the Comic Relief Crusader says, "I got on Cardinal Sin's channel for only 5 minutes until he had to go to bed."
You know what? I don't even know if I said goodbye when I left on Saturday.
You know what? I didn't think you did, but Cardinal Sin said that you did say goodbye on his midnight to midnight that he had.
So, but it was a great pleasure to be on the show. I feel like I was abrupt on my exit, and I feel bad about that. But other than that, I had a great time.
Well, I said goodbye, but I was also abrupt. I kind of said I got to go to bed, and so I did. And then Tiger Stripes left with me, so
Nice.
all the girls left the channel at the same time. But I had to go to bed. Daylight savings time happened, and it was suddenly 5 a.m. So I was like, wait a minute, I got to go.
See, Snoopy actually woke me up this morning at 9:30, and I was so happy because yesterday I woke up at like 11:30, and I was like, I feel rude. And the day before that, I woke up at like 1:30.
Well, it's getting better.
So it is getting better. But Snoopy was my sidekick. He made me get up. It was great.
Good. Hey, yeah, what are best friends for?
Well, he plays mean piano.
Mhm. And Cardinal Sin says, when does Data become human? Oh no, not Data. We meant Q. If it sounded like we meant Data, but Q.
Well, but like when Q becomes human, it's a pretty strong Data episode.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And there's a little Guinan in there too.
There is a little Guinan.
And Disney Sheepherder says, howdy, y'all. Are all stuck at work. Try and watch soon. Yes, great. I hope you enjoyed the replay because I had a ton of fun. I woke up late this morning, 2 hours after the time I wanted to wake up. So I didn't prepare this episode nearly as much as I wanted to. So I'm so glad you guys are here and could enjoy this episode with me, and that we still had a very interesting conversation about this.
Well, and it
This whole
shows.
episode. Mhm.
Yeah, the lack of production value on this episode of this review is,
Mhm.
is substandard. I think you really dropped the ball, Jill.
I did. Well, do you have any production notes that you could help with?
Well, I don't know. I can't even work Photoshop.
Well,
I don't know how to make thumbnails.
yes, you do actually. Wait, oh, thumbnails, but you do know how to make slides.
I do know how to make slides, yeah.
But I'm glad it shows that I did less research in this episode, because when I do the research, it is a lot more thrilling to listen.
Well, what did you rate it?
So, I rated it an A.
It's an A for you.
Yes, it's an A. It's a solid A.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it, and I am, I'm on Starfleet side.
Yes, I understand. And I am Worf, son of Moog, son of Sergei, House Rishenko, Slayer of Gowron, Bane of the House of Duras.
This episode doesn't really have that much trivia in it. So, yeah, because I'm looking at it. And
it's just an adversarial episode.
The only one that I see here is that this is the first episode, the only one I haven't said, this is the first episode in which Sulu is shown sitting in the command chair. Although we did mention it, that he's in command. Although he had previously commanded the bridge from the helm in Arena. And of course, Scotty is not in command because he's not there. Scotty and McCoy, we said, were at a convention or something.
Well, no, yeah, of course. I think that when Scotty and McCoy have coinciding leave, I think that they like to go on benders together.
Oh, thank you. The Comic Relief Crusader says poll results. Who's going on benders together? I wasn't listening.
Come on, McCoy and Scotty.
Oh my God, you're right.
They're drinking buddies.
You have a doctor who keeps a whole liquor cabinet in his sick bay.
I said, give me the brandy.
Absolutely agreed. Okay, so I will show the poll results shortly.
If anyone has ever wondered what it's like when Jill says, I wish I could talk more about this episode, welcome.
This is the more that you usually you never get.
You never get this more.
Until now. Now it's not never.
It's a spring break more.
And so I'll be sharing my screen, stopping screen, presenting, share screen. Here we go. There it is.
I gave it a B.
And you're not alone. We had 40 votes. And 57% give the episode an A, 40% give it a B, and that's a fair score. 3% gave it a C. And I could see arguments for that. Fair enough. No D's or F's, so I'm happy.
I would be curious. I'd be curious about the C.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There are your poll results.
All right.
Me too. I would love to hear from that person also.
And you know what? I am legally prohibited
from saying that
it was
gorilla.
Yeah.
But it probably was because he says the Organians are assholes.
The Organians are not assholes. They're better than the Federation.
Well, yeah, but they weren't honest about it. Now with more and more.
I don't have to explain myself to you.
No, I know you
I'm a
did.
non-corporeal being who can change the nature of your devices.
Yeah, but they didn't realize that if they did explain things to Captain Kirk, he would have backed off. He would have been like, all right. The Comic Relief Crusader says, I gave it an A on account that it's always better than current Trek. Oh, well, if you're doing that, then everything gets an A. You get an A. You get an A. You better not blame me for that. I gave it an A for Organians are assholes. Thank you, girl. Better get whiz off, says Answer Chime. So, So I guess they wanted Core to come back in other episodes, but he just couldn't do it.
He was supposed to be and when William O. Campbell, I think Campbell, Trelane, when he plays Koloth, that was supposed to be Core, and when it is Kang in Day of the Dove, that was also supposed to be Core. But due to scheduling conflicts or what have you, they never reunited.
Yeah, until Deep Space Nine. Da, da, da.
Well, but that wasn't reuniting. That was just Core coming back. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, yeah. True. But he does have a fictional battle with himself where he thinks he's fighting Captain Kirk.
Does he really reference Kirk?
I think so. Well, the one where he's getting old, so it's kind of sad.
He's got the Klingon dementia.
Yeah, he's got the dementia, so he thinks I think he's thinking he's fighting Captain Kirk. And and Kolokos was Newland's first choice for Core. And that's who he got. That's cool. Yep. I'm just looking to see if there's anything interesting. I'm not going to straight up read this stuff. I'm just looking for anything cool.
You don't read things?
Not verbatim.
The entire reason that I tune into this channel is I want you to read things.
Well, I read my words. I read my words verbatim. If I wrote it, I will read it. If someone else wrote it, I will try to summarize it or look at it and reframe it. Oh, except for the book. I will read the book verbatim too. It does talk about the Baldric here. Core War was reused for Worf. So so Pop Culture Curator was exactly correct. It was repainted and stuff. Neat.
Delicious.
And the material was burlap sacking. And it's at the Smithsonian Institution. Neat.
Have you ever been?
No, but I want to.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Now I need to go. All the Star Trek stuff is there. Oh, and apparently Klingons have communicators like ours, shown when Core contacts his fleet.
You know what? The weird thing about the communicators and the Klingon phasers or disruptors, is that they are reuses of the Taste of Armageddon
Oh, are they?
technology. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, like the Taste of Armageddon disruptors are slightly modified to
Oh.
be the Klingon disruptors in this episode, and the communicators, same deal. Except I don't think the Klingon communicators, are straight up like, we'll just use these again.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
Oh, and Kevis and Trillium are later mentioned in Trials and Tribulations as a tribute to the episode.
Yes, it's Odo's character. He is a traitor in Kivas and Trillium.
Oh my gosh, I never noticed that.
Mhm.
That's neat. I think that's about it. Because at the end it says Apocrypha, so it's like, I'm not going to read that. None of it has any reference to anything. So yeah, there you go. There's all the rest of the trivia, unless anybody has anything else. And
Well,
Carla
no.
Abanisi says, "Hail Kuroga." No?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to hang out more, but I don't have
Oh.
anything to offer.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Me neither. So Sean Carter says, this would get an A- from me, but Cora's pronunciation of vegetable gets it that A+. And hello to Carla Albanese. Comic Relief Crusader says, can anyone explain to me? I heard that in the original series that the reason the Klingons looked more human was because they were hybrids to better deal with humans.
I don't think that was in the original series. I think that the original series, when they presented Klingons, they just made them look uniform.
Oh, wait. Carla Albanese says, I like that someone said that Star Trek is the recitation of events that happened. Who said that? Cardinal Sin says, I want to go to the Smithsonian and sneak into the basement where they have the giant bones. Whoa, sounds creepy.
Is that like a sex club?
Carla Albanese says, I like how Nomad
Giant
is
bones, Jill.
also a cloaking device. Cardinal Sin says, do it. Yeah, that would be great content for your channel. Go do some investigation of the Smithsonian.
Yes, let's steal the Declaration of Independence.
But I mean, couldn't you convince someone to let you go down? I don't know. Probably not.
I could probably convince someone to let them go down.
So the Comic Relief Crusader says, can anyone explain this to me? Oh wait, that's it. He already asked that. Oh,
Yes.
and the Stream Elements bot wants you to donate to Bunny Mom Ambrosia's Bunny Rescue at bunnytrailrescue.com. Yes. Please do. That's Gary Ambrosia's wife, and she operates a bunny rescue. And also, of course, subscribe to Pop Culture Curator. He's got a great channel. He's going to have a horror stream.
He's going to be talking about freaks tonight.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what it was. Oh my gosh, Bird Prey 5 is saying, who is looking for someone to go down?
I
Yeah,
am.
he twisted my words. I was talking about Cardinal Sin going down to the basement of the Smithsonian because he wants to go look up some bones. There are giant bones, apparently. I don't know.
When you go down, there will be a giant bone.
Carla Albanese says, I think we all are bird. But no, this is great. I got two more votes, and the A's have 60%, B 38%, and C's 2%. So I'll end the poll there. Pass on, Scotty. Sorry. Says Bird. That's fair enough.
What did I do?
You did. He's passing on.
He's not going to pay attention to me. Okay.
No,
No, it's fine. I understand why.
no, it's because
I don't know what
you
he
said
means,
who
though. He's going to pass on me? What does that mean?
pass on going down.
So he just doesn't appreciate me.
No. Cardinal
Okay.
Sin says there's a conspiracy theory that giant bones were discovered and that they were taken to the Smithsonian and put in the basement. That
I
is.
did not know that.
I didn't either. Interesting. But I'm gonna copy these, and actually, I gotta go look for. I want to look.
We got to see City on the Edge of Forever.
Yes, I need to find the trailer for City on the Edge of Forever. I should have done that earlier, but I ran out of time to do
Yeah.
anything. I ran out of time to do about 50% of the prep that I do for a normal episode.
Yeah. But it's also like I really appreciate the spring break special when you didn't have to go and get the kids from spring break.
From the school, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to hang out a little bit longer for this episode, and that's great.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's really great looking up City on the Edge of Forever.
Have you
so-
seen it?
I have seen it more
I
than
have
once.
the comic book or like the graphic novel adaptation
Oh,
of
right.
the
Just like
original.
pictures. Lots of pictures.
There are pictures, yes. Of the original Harlan Ellison script.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting.
If it's the original Harlan Ellison script, it's a little different from the actual episode
True story.
because Harlan's episode was rewritten to fit within the Star Trek universe. And that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about next week. Harlan Ellison and his saltiness.
Well, but the thing is that it's got such tumult in terms of its production, but it is also regarded as one of the best episodes of the original series.
It is. Sometimes when there is a lot of shaking up in production, you come up with something really great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we'll find out next week.
Can't wait.
Edith Keeler.
See, I don't know if I could say the word Edith in the throes of passion.
Oh, you have a problem with her name?
I do have a problem. Yes. Yeah, Edith. Like that's a tough pill to swallow. You have to be really, really lovely to pull off Edith. Or old. You have to be really old. How many young people do you know who are named Edith?
I don't know.
None.
Well, but this is set in a long time ago. When is City on the Edge of Forever set? Like around World War II.
It's like, yeah, no, it's a long time ago.
So she is from old timey times.
Yeah, but still. Anyway. Long live the name Edith. If your grandmother is named Edith, I mean no disrespect.
Yeah. So I'm checking to see if this video works. It does. So now I just need to upload it.
Right. And then are we going to end the show?
Yes. Then we're going to end the show. Yep. I just need to grab this video so I'm doing production right in the middle of the episode.
Well, no, I enjoy the behind the scenes.
It is happening right now.
I know. Come on. This is great.
It's uploading now.
Apparently.
It was the 1930s. Yes, I thought it was the 1930s, but I didn't want to be wrong. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. I was thinking, yeah, it's the 1930s. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Did you want to say hello, good evening, good morning, and good night to the people in the chat?
Yes. And hello to Keely Chow. He's here too.
Hey, Keely.
Harlan Ellison won a Hugo for a screenplay, says Cardinalson.
Yes. He did. And he shamed the production of Star Trek.
Oh, well.
when
He can do that if he wants
when
to.
he accepted his Hugo.
Oh my
He
God.
he basically said, "Yeah, my script was better than your show."
Yeah. But but I love what we get on screen, and it's going to be so much fun next week to talk about all that drama.
Yes. Is
Comic
it?
Relief. It is. It is going to be
Okay.
great. And no, I'm going to have so much fun.
There's a time travel thing too.
Yeah, time travel happens.
Yeah.
There are 2 timelines. Well, because they're both recorded on Spock's tricorder. And Carla Albanese says, I think humanity is over 1.6 million years old. This is the 3rd technological civilization. Oh, there's some Into the Fringe stuff happening in the chat right now. Cam. Hey, Cam.
Hey, Cam.
Hello, Jill and Scotty. Been listening. We're getting walloped by snow. Power is going on and off, and my mom has pneumonia. Great show from what I could catch. Back to chores. Cheers. Oh, Cam, thank you for saying hello in the chat. Even though you sound like you're having a really busy day, having to battle a snowstorm and take care of your mom.
Your Tuesday is tumultuous.
It is. And hello, Disney Sheepherder. Time travel is complicated, Carlin Albanese, yes. But before we get too deep into time travel, we'll talk more about it next week. Next week, I'll be all about time travel. And
you
Star
can
Trek.
literally hear about it all next week on our new podcast, The City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah, it will be for real, and it's not a joke. And please check out the literary works of R.M. Briggs. I love the Stream Element spot. It promotes people for me. Okay. I will see you guys next time. It was a great episode. Thank you. Yes, I agree.
Do I have to come back next week?
You have to come back next week because you have to talk about the City on the Edge of Forever. You don't, yeah, there's no choice. Sorry. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Bye.
Well, play the trailer.
I'll play the trailer. Here's the trailer for next week.
All right.
Captain's log. No star date. McCoy has changed the course of time.
What are you? I am the guardian of forever. Now.
All right, come on.
Oh, how careless of your wife to let you go out that way.
What?
One day soon, man is going to be able to harness incredible energies, maybe even the atom.
Speculation.
I find her most uncommon, Mr. Spock.
Murderers! Assassins!
I'm in love with Edith Keeler.
Edith Keeler must die.
Go, Jim!